Welcome everyone to Ralph Tasker, where we have some JV action going on. It is in the fourth quarter, and that was a two-pointer for Carlsbad. Score is now 44-30. Hobbs is in the lead. Let's see, and Gill has the ball, had the ball, passed it off. And that was a nice shot from McGahee. He has a total of 17 points. It is leading both sides on the floor. 46-30 with just under 5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter. Following this game will be the varsity game with the Carlsbad Cavemen versus your Hobbs Eagles. We'll also be on the radio on Cool 95.7. We also have coverage going on in Carlsbad against the Lady Eagles versus the Carlsbad women, Cave ladies, Cave girls. I've heard all kinds, but in any case, we have it all covered for you, and it's all for free. Of course, we also have all the other games going, including Jal and Eunice and Tatum. Ooh, that's going to be a foul. 3-point shot foul for Criswell as he's going to go to the line and shoot three. Criswell has a 9. Gets one more, he'll get into double digits. He has 3 attempts. Here is the first. Lots of things going on in this game, or not in this game, but the game coming up between these two rivals, these district rivals. First one was in, so that gives Criswell 10. He's got 11. Oh, that's not Criswell. Well, he might get 9, so he gets one more, he can hit 9. Let's see, who is that? He's looking at the wrong thing. And all 3 sink for Emmanuel Gonzalez. So extended to 19 for the lead. 4:30 remaining in this game. Hobbs over Carlsbad in the JV game. Back in just a moment to let you know what's going on right here on all your stations, including HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube on the Hobbs Sports channel, and yes, even on Cool 95.7 on the Facebook page. Caleb Gill on the line. Could not put that one in. His first of 2 free throws. Hobbs up 51-33 with 3:24 remaining in this game. Following the game will be the varsity game between the Cavemen and your Eagles. Should be a good one too. It's definitely going to be a decision maker as far as who could or who may not go into the playoffs. Also, it will also help with the district tournament, determining on where it will be played and who will be playing who. Well, it's pretty much locked up that Hobbs will be playing Carlsbad. It's just a matter of where. And then Roswell and Clovis are also playing, and winner will be, if it's Clovis, they will win the district, and if it's Roswell, then there probably will be a district tiebreaker to determine who is the winner. The one game at a time, right? So not going to say either one of them is going to win, although Clovis is favored. They have a 4-1 record right now in district. 3-2 for Roswell. 2-3 are the Hobbs Eagles, and it is 1-4 for Carlsbad. The only game they were able to win in district was against Hobbs, and that 1-point loss. Tough one too in Carlsbad. 52-33 is what we've got so far. 2:36 remaining on the clock, and right after that, we will go and broadcast for free the varsity game. Be back in just a moment. Continue watching the free coverage once again of the JV. That's a nice put in, by the way. Looks like that was Justice French. Justice has 5 points. Hobbs has 54, 54-33, a cruise on this one. It's been struggling here lately, the last couple of games. This is the JV's last game. There are no playoffs for them, so may see a couple of these players coming up and playing on the varsity team. Just depends on how they're evaluated, as always. A quiet three-pointer for Brandon. Makes it 54-36. We'll be back in just a moment. Caleb Gill with a nice put in right there. Gives Hobbs 56-36, 20-point lead with just about 30 seconds now remaining in this game. So it looks like Hobbs will be ending their JV season with a victory. That was a 3-point shot. Caleb has 5 points in this game, and it is going to dwindle down 8
check
seconds.
1 2, check 1 2. Can you hear me? Check 1 2.
All right, back live at Ralph Tasker Arena, where we have seen the final. Hobbs JV wins its final of the game of the season against Carlsbad. Final score, 56-39. And Amari McGahee had 12 points in the first half. I believe he ended up with 14 points altogether. We will have a countdown. Right now there's 16 minutes on the clock, which is unusual. Oh yeah, it's also senior night, but that's not going to matter much because we only have one senior, as far as I know, graduating. I know there's none on the girls, but I think there's only one for the boys. And other than cheerleaders and maybe band, I think that's going to be it. Not much as far as celebrations going. So we're going to possibly do that. Looks like that's what's going to happen. Boys are lining up like it would be the national anthem, but that's not going to be happening this early. And since it's senior night for the Hobbs team, we shall see those honors. And again, okay, now it's back up to 20, so not going to start the clock until after we have the proceedings for senior night to start. They will be pre-game, not during the halftime like some do, or like we do sometimes. Continue to keep you updated though. Right now, once again, like I said, JV game is over. They did win against Carlsbad. Final was 56-39. Come back in just a moment and let you know what's going on right here on your NOMOC Broadcasting channels. Kano is out there. Only senior on the team. It's Coach Reeves, Coach Ross. And they're going to get their picture taken. I don't know how many times they've actually had just one senior on the team, but that is the case this year. And he is being honored. I don't know. I can't remember the last time he's actually played, but nevertheless, maybe we'll see him tonight. He looks like he's geared up, but we'll find out. Talk about the injury to Malachi David, I should say, Malachi David. As well as what all the other things that are going on, including district play, playoff possibilities, and district tournament coming up next week. Will be Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. There may be a Monday game if there's a tiebreaker for the district. But cross that bridge when we get there. Does not include Hobbs in any case. will be Roswell versus Clovis in a rematch. Once again, they're playing tonight. And also honoring Coach Reeves. He is 4 away from 100 wins for his career. As well as, of course, he was also a player here in Hobbs when he was younger. Coach Reeves' coaching career is 96 and 54. And that's for the season, 25 and 11 for district play. It's a close one over in Portales, looks like, against Lovington. Portales, after the third quarter, leading by 1, the girls. Portales Lady Rams over the Lady Lovington Wildcats. That would be 36-35. And it's going into the fourth quarter.
Welcome, everyone, to Tasker Arena. Time for Hobbs Eagle basketball. Live on the radio at Cool 95.7, on the internet, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Ty Friend, Ron Gunner, Evie Stuber with you tonight as the Hobbs Eagles take on the Carlsbad Cavemen. Final regular season district game here at Tasker Arena. And boy, a lot of marbles on the line for this game, Ron. Now, both teams are in the district tournament next week, but the Hobbs Eagles have lost once to Carlsbad by 1 point. They've got to get at least a 2-point win tonight to go into a tiebreaker for that third seed of the district tournament, which means they get to host on Tuesday. If they lose tonight to Carlsbad, they have to go to Carlsbad for the first round game. So that's where we're at. If they get a tie tonight, which ain't going to happen, that's not going to matter. But a 1-point win isn't good enough. That will be a tie, and then they'll have to go through some other type of tiebreaker situation because both teams have one game apiece. They've beat each other twice or once apiece, and then they'll have a tiebreaker round there. But still, the big situation is Hobbs cannot lose this game tonight. Otherwise, they will be packing their bags at Carlsbad.
Absolutely. The main thing is they've got to take care of business here at Tasker. They've been doing so this year as far as district. They are 2-0 on district. They're 0-3 on the road. Unfortunately, against Carlsbad, like you just mentioned a moment ago, Carlsbad sitting on 1-4. Hobbs at 2-3 in the district. So if they do that, they can get a 3-3 in district. That will not get them anywhere close to the district championship, but they will at least get them out of the basement, and it will mean that they most likely will be hosting Carlsbad on Tuesday, depending on what happens with everything else. But, yeah, it looks like first thing is first. Definitely got to take care of our own home court, get this victory, and then be able to improve our chances of getting into a playoff spot.
Of course, a close game last Friday. The Eagles losing to Clovis on the road 65-62. Big point production, though, for the sophomore Braylon Vega. He knocked down 21 points. He had a couple of trays. Almost perfect on the line, 2, 5 of 6, and a couple of rebounds. So he definitely stepped up big as the top scorer in that game. Abraham Pena right behind him with 18 points. He had 3 trays all in the first quarter alone, 10 points in that first quarter, and finished up with 4 rebounds. So those guys, Vega and Pena, combined for 39 of the Hobbs Eagles, 62 points, more than half of their point production. Nobody else getting in double figures. Parker Henderson, 8 points and 10 rebounds. He was close to a double-double if he had one more basket to his name. And Jairus Churiatis with 8 points. He had 5 boards, so definitely was helping out the cause as well. I know the big story in this game for tonight, though, Ron, Malachi David out for the season, knee injury, going to have surgery pretty soon. He definitely is going to be a sore miss for this Hobbs Eagles squad. Did not play at that game at Clovis, too, so that's why he's not in the box score. But that's a big loss for the Eagles in terms of he just kind of started moving up as district went along and gave another dimension for Hobbs in the postgame. Yeah,
he had 9 points in the last Carlsbad game. So he did help make a difference, and that one also had just 1 of 1 from the free throw line. So he was contributing when he could. He's probably a little bit more better numbers on the defensive side. He did have at least 5 rebounds. 4 of them were defense, 1 was offensive, and that's really great for a freshman. But still, his absence is definitely going to needed to be filled by other players, not just one, but several other players, because he brought something to the team, and it really got close to getting that Carlsbad win. Unfortunately, like we said, first half was great. Second half for Hobbs, not so much. Carlsbad was able to come back and be able to get that victory, and Hobbs really did want that victory, but it just didn't work out.
And a pretty close game Friday, too, at Clovis. I mean, it was 17-16 in the first quarter. Clovis up by 1. Hobbs down by 2 at halftime, 31-29. The third quarter is really where it turned around in the favor of Clovis. They got 25 points in the third. Eagles finished up with 19. So there was a little bit of a cushion there. And the last quarter, 9 for Clovis and a total of 14 for the Eagles. So make it as close as they could get in that ball game. Just could not get themselves over the hump for the win. A lot more free throw opportunities for Clovis in that game. They shot the ball 24 times and converted 14 for just 58%. They weren't doing themselves justice with their missed free throws. Hobbs shooting 15 less free throw attempts, but they were 7 of 9 for 77%. That is a good trend. I mean, you're getting the numbers up where you want them to be to help your cause out in a close game like that one. Didn't get you the W, but it kept you in the ball game. Hobbs put down 6 3-pointers and 6 for Clovis, so both teams equal there. Turnovers at 12 for Hobbs, which is about 5 or so less than their average this season. Eagles getting up close to 18 a ball game. I think that's the key tonight, keeping the turnovers down and those unforced errors. And there's no reason for unforced errors, and that could lead to transition points for Carlsbad. They're not a team that likes to run that much. You've talked about this throughout the year. Carlsbad liking to slow it down and play some tenacious defense, but Hobbs doesn't want to make mistakes for themselves.
And, one of the things that we need to cut down on is some errant passes. I know sometimes you get double teamed and you want to pass that to your teammate, but it doesn't always get there, and it's usually picked off by your opponent. So you definitely want to keep those turnovers down, as you mentioned. Also, draw some more fouls. I mean, this is one of the things that's been killing the Hobbs Eagles this season, especially in district. They have not been getting a lot of calls going their way, so they're not getting to the line. That means they're not being able to get those free points that they would like to have, and that would make a difference between, especially like we said, 1 point. We had 3 points for Clovis, 1 point for Carlsbad. That would have been the difference right there between the two of them, between a loss and a victory.
Well, let me put some numbers behind what you just said in terms of free throws. We had 5 games at district so far. This is the 6th one tonight. Hobbs is 39 of 60 at the free throw line, 65%, so not the worst numbers ever.
Right.
But that's only 60 free throw attempts. Their opponents, the other 3 in the league that have played 5 games so far, 67 of 111. They have shot 51 more free throws than Hobbs has in the first 5 games of district. They're not shooting as good as Hobbs. They're at 60%. But the extra free throws that you get is going to give you those extra points. But still, there we go right there. 28 more points on the scoreboard for their opponents. They've got 51 more free throw attempts. Not saying it's the ref's issue here, but it's a style of basketball we're talking about.
Exactly.
And situation. So we got to penetrate more, just like the shot against Clovis at the three-point line with about 8 seconds remaining. We had a guy take it off there at the top of the arc, well outside the arc, and rebounders weren't ready. And so that was our last hurrah. No chance to get a free throw on a foul in the lane. We were only down by 1, didn't need a tray. So other options, and not blaming anybody, but the same situations, that's why there's not more free throw attempts, because we're not drawing those fouls in the paint.
Exactly, and you can't do that if you're just going to stop and shoot and nobody around you. You don't get a foul that way. Also, I would have liked to see him either do a layup or at least a 20-foot shot from at least something a little more percentage-wise, better percentage-wise than the three-point shot. At best, you get a 40% attempts on those. Meanwhile, a layup, it usually has about an 85-90% chance. Plus, even if you miss it, there's a good chance you can get a foul call on it. So either way, you get a chance to get 2 points. At least the one would have been able to tie it. 2 would have been able to win it.
Looking at some other stats in the district through 5 games, Hobbs actually out-rebounding their opponents right now, 144 to 131, so 13 more boards. And that have to look at the post play we've had. Malachi David, who's not going to play tonight, of course, he's part of that. Jairus Turbiatis, Parker Henderson, and a few other guys sprinkled in there going after the glass. So that's been a good sign for Hobbs as the season's progressed. An area that we've had issues with, turnovers. Hobbs has had 83 against their 3 opponents in district, only 56 for the 3 squads that they play. 27 more turnovers for Hobbs. That's got to get cleaned up. We've already mentioned that one. So those are some things to look at. The Hobbs Eagles right now have a couple of guys averaging double figures against Carlsbad, Clovis, and Roswell. Abraham Pena averaging 14.6 points a game. He's a leader against his district rivals. And Vega, the other guy, Braylon Vega, averaging 12.4 points a game. He's really upped his average the last couple of ball games, especially that 21 against Clovis. Both guys shooting pretty well at the free throw line, too. Pena against the district, 76%, and Vega at 87%. So those 2 are stepping up quite well. Other point producers so far in the district, we've had Jairus Turbiatis averaging 7.4 points a game, so he definitely is needed in terms of scoring. Parker Henderson starting to move up in the scoring as well. He's got 7 a game and is 7 of 9 from the line for 77%. A couple of guys averaging over 5 points a game. Josiah Clay coming off the bench, 5.4. And Malachi David, before he got injured, 5.7 against his district foes. So kind of looking at the numbers there. We should mention in terms of the scoring in this season so far, Hobbs and their opponent have been even in the first quarter, 81-81. Just evened up across the board. So it's kind of a toss-up there in the first quarter. Second quarter, Hobbs has dominated their opponents 74-49, 25 more points than their opponents. So they've been doing a pretty decent job in that second quarter. Going into the third, though, losing by 18 points, 93-75. Opponents start to pick up the slack a little bit.
Right.
And then the final period, the fourth quarter, 83 to 67, so 16 more points for their opponents. Second halves have not been as good for the Eagles as of their second quarters.
But they have been better than they were earlier in the season, where it was the opposite. Hobbs would come in with a lead in the fourth quarter, and for whatever reason it would get whittled away, and Hobbs would lose their momentum. and lose the game because of that. But, we talked about the fact that, let's say Parker Henderson, he's been getting better. You've been talking about that. We've been talking about it as far as he's been getting better shot selections. He's been getting some rebounds. He's still not perfect yet. He's still young, but still he is getting. Plus, he's also going on the line, which helps. He is, I think he's only missed about 3 or 4 shots from the line since district has started. So his numbers have been improving very slowly. We're hoping to see he'll be dominant as well as Tribiantes and a few other players that will come out of nowhere, hopefully, and be able to help the cause for the Eagles.
Eagles got their 10th win just recently. Of course, now they have 10 wins and 14 losses on the season. Carlsbad coming in just over 500 at 13-12. Again, they're in the basement of district. They definitely need a win tonight to host that game on Tuesday against the Eagles in the district tournament. Now, this last week, Roswell knocked off Carlsbad 55-36. And in that game, their top scorer, very low-scoring contest, we should mention, but Carmen Orgain finished up with 14 points. He had the only tray of the game for the K-Men in that one. He was the only double-digit scorer, 2 of that 14. Other than him, it was Guy getting 7 points and was 3 of 4 from the line. And then Sullivan ended up with 5, 1 for 2 from the charity stripe. So not a lot of points going on. In fact, the first quarter, Roswell's up 7-2. And they dumped in 10 more points in the second quarter, up 17-9 at the half. In the second half, Roswell had 38 points and Carlsbad 27. And we're starting to see very low scores in the district this year.
Exactly. And you really can't even blame it on defense as much as it is more just errant shots are being made. They're just trying to get something going on offense, and it's just not clicking. And even Clovis was having a little trouble from time to time. But all 4 teams are kind of anemic as far as the offense goes. Can't blame it on defense. I mean, yes, they do have some, especially Roswell. Roswell is tenacious, just like Hobbs used to be in the past. But overall, it is all about just being able to get the ball up in the air or just getting those rebounds.
And if you look at the scoring in the league this year, Clovis leads with 61.8 points a game offensively. Roswell at 58. Hobbs in second at 59 a game, and Carlsbad dead last at 45. So if Hobbs can keep the ball going up and down the court, transition style and some press, and just kind of keep the tempo up, Carlsbad's going to have some trouble. They like to slow things down.
Exactly.
Defensively, though, Hobbs has the worst numbers given up, 61.2 points a game. So that's definitely going to have to be worked on a little bit. Other teams, Clovis and Roswell giving up 54 points a game each, and Carlsbad with 55. But again, Hobbs has got to keep this game a high-scoring affair and really move the ball up and down the court to get the advantage here. Again, Eagles have got to win by more than 1 point tonight to be the host of the first round of the district tournament on Tuesday. The other game going on tonight, Clovis and Roswell. The first game was won by Clovis as they won by 6 points. So that's the difference right there. Roswell has to win by more than 6, and that would put that into the tiebreaker, which would make them probably going to be going on to the first seed in the district tournament because both teams, well, Clovis has 1 loss and Roswell 2. That would pull Clovis down to a second loss, and then they go to point differential. Roswell gets a 7-point win tonight. They will be the host.
Exactly, and if anything else, if it's a tie for whatever reason, somehow they would have to play that Monday night tiebreaker, and that would probably be in Carlsbad or possibly in Hobbs.
Well, it's not going to happen. And if Roswell wins by more than 6, it will not be a tiebreaker for sure. Real quickly to run down what happened the last time these two teams played. 40-39, Carlsbad getting a 1-point win. Their leading scorer, Jacob Chavarria, with 10. Carmen Orgain had 8. Samuel Gee with 8, and Garen Gossett finished with 8 as well. Lots of guys hovering around the 10-point mark there. Not doing very well on the line, though. They were 52% from the charity stripe and had a total of 10 turnovers, but did out-rebound the Eagles by 2, 29-27. Eagles got nobody in double figures. Braylon Vega finishing with 9, all on trays. He had 3 of those. Malachi David, you mentioned that a few minutes ago. He had 9 points, but not playing tonight. Also had 5 rebounds. Abraham Pena was 7. Hobbs shot only 38% from the field and 66% from the charity stripe, and they had a total of 13 turnovers, 3 more than Carlsbad, and had 2 less rebounds. So very close game, but definitely would like to see some more scoring in this one. We'll take a quick break, national anthem, and we're back in 90 seconds. Welcome back to Tasker Arena. Get ready for Hobbs Eagle basketball as they take on the Carlsbad Cavemen. Final regular season district game. Eagles with 2 wins, Carlsbad with 1. And definitely if the Eagles pull the win off here, more than one, they will be hosting on Tuesday. If not, and lose to Carlsbad, they will be on the road, which hasn't happened for quite a long time with Hobbs Eagle basketball. Right now, 16 teams will be going to state. Eagles check in, Ron, currently at number 17, 1 out of the 16-team field. The Max Preps poll is not the only one thing they look at, obviously.
Right.
Strength of schedule is one big factor, too. Hobbs has got a better strength of schedule than 12 of the top 16 teams that are above them right now in the Max Preps poll. That's pretty impressive. Of course, wins against Clovis, who's a district champ possibly. That will help them in terms of possibly making the tournament. Los Lunas, who looks like they're going to be a district champ, beat them by 8 points earlier this season. Artesia out of the 4A, who's currently 6th in the Max Preps poll, 5-0 in district, maybe be 6-0 tonight. They're playing Lovington, but they're going to be the district champs regardless. But that's a win under their belt. So those 3 wins that they've had, Clovis, Los Lunas, and Artesia, are pretty impressive on your resume.
Right.
I think really, too, their other opponents they've lost to, like the tournament they went over in Texas. They played teams like Canyon, Texas. They're number 9 in the 4A. Lost to them pretty well, but still a tough opponent. Friendship, Texas, who's ranked 19th in 6A basketball, the biggest league there in Texas. Lost to them by 44, but still a tough game to play. And then Brownfield is currently ranked 19th in the 3A in Texas. They beat them by 11. So, again, those aren't all wins, except the Brownfield game, but still impressive resume. And then, of course, Trinity Christian, who's currently number 1 in the Christian League over there, the TAPS League. They are number 1 in the 4A, 12-0 in district, and they're 2 rounds now into the playoffs at this current time. Hobbs lost to them by 29. Now, I don't know how closely they look at Texas opponents, and they usually want to see wins on those, but still, that kind of tells you why Hobbs has got better than 12 teams of a strength of schedule in the top 16 right now.
I think they do that with the strength of schedule, maybe nothing more than that, but still, we would like to see a little bit of a leg up as far as any kind of opportunity that Hobbs can get to advance into the playoffs and also get a little higher in the playoff ranking as well to avoid the big 16, 15, 14 teams.
Ron, do you think there's any chance the Eagles lose tonight and then lose on Tuesday? Would they make the tournament, do you think? If they're a 17 seed that would have an under 500 record, and there's almost every team above them has over 500 right now.
Right. I think they would have to have a lot of help. I think they can help themselves out a lot simply by winning this game. I think that will speak volumes. Whether they win the next ones after that, that'd be great. But I think this is the key game. If Hobbs could win it, then I think they are in. Maybe not as high as they'd like to be, but it's definitely going to help their cause. If they lose it, I don't see much of a chance, even with the other teams. They'd have to have a lot of help to be able to get any kind of position in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think really just looking at what's happened under 500 at that point, that this record's going to stick out like a sore thumb. But I think with some wins here tonight and possibly 1 or 2 in the district tournament, I think you're looking anywhere from a 14 to a 16. Wins out, or at least getting the district championship tournament game, might get you into that 14 slot. But they got a lot of work to do.
They did do it against with Gilmore in the last season. He did have an under 500. He was able to get in, but they were the 16th seed and they were knocked out immediately.
Blue team out of the court first for Carlsbad. They're looking hopefully to get themselves a win so they can host a game. Shane Sullivan will do the jumping. Samuel Gee is on the court. Guys we saw in the last game, Jacob Chavarria, who had their top scoring out there in that game in Carlsbad. Hobbs Eagles will jump it up. Parker Henderson, Abraham Pena, Soria, Vega, and a tip in the backcourt to Turbiatis. We're underway here at Tasker. First quarter of the contest. Hobbs and Carlsbad. Eagles go to the left side of Soria. Swings it back to the right to Pena. Pena down to the right corner to Turbiatis. Fakes a 3, returns to Pena. Top of the arc. Goes up a tray himself off the side left rim. No good. And the rebound for Carlsbad by Shane Sullivan. Outlet to the near sideline. Slowing up on the dribble through his legs is Chavarria. Comes across the time stripe. One-hand pass high to the right wing to Sullivan. Handoff on the right side. Hippity hop for Orgain down the lane. Kicks it to the free throw line to Chavarria. To the right wing. A 3 on the way for Sullivan and nails it. Wide open that time. Nobody getting a hand in his face. Cavemen now up 3-0 early. Don't want to get those outside shots to the Cavemen that early.
No, you don't.
Coming across the timeline is Pena. Down to the left corner to Soria. Returns to Vega left wing. Cross court right to Pena. Gets a 2-1-2 zone. Posted up Henderson on the right elbow. Free throw line with the pivot. To Vega on the left side. Fakes a tray. Drives corner. Back to Parker Henderson. Runs over his defender coming down the paint before he caught the ball. Lost it in the air and completely plowed over Samuel Gee for the turnover and the foul. First on Henderson. First team foul against the Eagles.
And that's unfortunate, too. Looked like he had a nice position, but unfortunately got the charge on that one and lost the ball or lost possession of the ball as well.
He was close to a double-double against Clovis, 8 points and 10 rebounds, but he fouled out there towards the end of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, actually took one for the team. It was a very close call, but needed to take that one.
Steal on the inbound, and Abraham Pena coming down the lane to the backcourt and slamming it down to the Eagles' front court for the 2. Big-time dunk there for Pena. First turnover for Clovis. 1 turnover apiece now. Half-court inbound. Driving across the lane is Orgain. Goes to the rack, and he gets hammered from behind. Pena was trying to track him, and Coach Reese says, get back on D. Love the dunk at the other end, but we got to get some defense going, too, as a foul does come against Pena. That's a second team foul against the Eagles.
Exactly, and you definitely got, just because you had a good offensive play doesn't mean you have to lack it up on the defense. It is both sides, and you got to be ready at any time to be able to play that.
Orgain's first free throw is a clunker. Rolls around the rim, though, and drops in for the first point. Again, we mentioned he had the top point production against Roswell. That was in a double-digit loss last week. He had 14. Second shot is up and good. He got them both, 2 free throws. Chavarria was the top scorer against the Eagles with double digits the last time they played in Carlsbad. 5-2, biggest lead so far in the first for Carlsbad. Payne in the front court on the right wing. Over to Vega left side to Soria in the left corner with the jab step. Dribbles to the free throw line. Airs it over to Payne on the right wing. Up top to Soria. Back over to left side to Vega. Drives baseline corner now. Double team against him. Swings it back to the timeline. Bobbled to second by Soria, but recovers and gives to Vega left wing. Back deep to Payne at the time stripe. He'll hold the ball. Dumps it down to Henderson on the right block. Double team, backs into him to the free throw line to Turbiantes. Fade away Jay and swishes it. Jay Iris Turbiantes for 2. 5-4. Carlsbad still up by the point. Inbound a half court to Orgain and gives it back in the backcourt still to Jacob Chavarria. He'll bring it across with the dribble in front of the Taskervich. Bound to the left side against Soria. Sends it to the left wing to Sullivan. Handoff from behind to Gee. Gee drives to the free throw line. Hippity hop. Fade away from the right block and swishes it. Nice follow through for Samuel Gee. Carlsbad with 3 scores now. They lead 7-4. Quickly across the timeline. Pena stop and go. 18-footer from the right wing and drills it right through the rack. Second bucket for Pena. He's got 4. 7-6. Eagles down by 1. Long bounce pass into the front court on the right wing. Pulled down by Sullivan. Give out to the right corner to Orgain. Return to Sullivan right side to Orgain in the corner. Jab step. Goes right baseline against Henderson. Triple team. Tries to throw it to the free throw line. Picked off by Soria. Turnover number 2 for Carlsbad. Down the lane with the reverse layup. Left side's rejected by Shane Sullivan. He'll come into the front court. Goes to the left corner with the pass to Gee for 3 wide open. Nobody guarding him and puts it through the hole. The second tray for Carlsbad. 5 for Gee now. 10-6. Biggest lead is 4 for the Cavemen.
Yeah, Cavemen so far coming out a little stronger, a little more enthusiastic than Hobbs.
Soria at the top of the circle in the front court. Backs it out to the near right side. Cross court left to Pena. Pena with the crossover to big-time Henderson on the left elbow. Kick out right to Soria. Quick pass to Vega. Right corner for 3. Rainbow jumper, and he nails it. Vega's first tray of the ball game. And the first for the Eagles. They trail by 1, 10-9. Another half-court inbound to Orgain. Sends it down left corner to Gee again. Sails up a 3 out the front of the rim. Crash in the left block. Double clutch and hammered hard. Trying to go back up with that left block is Sullivan. His second rebound. They'll call the foul. He had a couple of guys chopping down on top of him that time. The Eagles going to get charge of the foul, as they're going to get that a second one now on Parker Henderson, and foul trouble just like against Clovis last week.
And that's unfortunate, too, because we were looking for big things from the big guy. There's only 2 of them out there right now, and definitely cannot lose them, so they're probably going to get him off the court for a moment to be able to get him kind of adjusted back to playing again. It's been a week, so maybe there's a little rust.
Shane Sullivan with the free throw, bouncing around the rim and good. Carlsbad now 3 of 3 from the charity stripe. Definitely want to improve on those numbers they saw in the last game where they're in the high 50s. Still winning by just 1 point at home. So 11-9 after the made free throw. 1 more coming for Sullivan, who's got 4 points. In the court now for the Eagles, Amron Wheeler checks in. Giving up a few inches, though, but does have a stocky body there, and he will bang you up. Second free throw good. 5 points now for Sullivan, and a 30-second timeout for the Eagles. Going to have to adjust their offense a little bit with Wheeler coming in. A lot smaller than the big man, Parker Henderson. We'll take a quick 30-second break. Carlsbad 12, your Hobbs Eagles 9. Come back with us on the Hobbs Eagle Network. We're back live at Tasker Arena. Your Hobbs Eagles trail by 3 to Carlsbad here at home, 12-9. 4:32 remaining in the first quarter. Pena, Claytis checks in for the Eagles. Vega, Wheeler, and Turbiatas on the court. Vega gets up top to Pena in the front side, over to Clay in the left wing, back up top to Pena. Wait for a screen from Turbiatas, takes it to the left elbow. Finds Clay in the left corner, drives baseline, gets it stripped from behind, picked up by Wheeler on the left wing, tries to pass back to Pena at the top of the arc, and gets hammered from behind as they get the foul call against Carlsbad. That'll be Kyron Orgain's first personal, first team foul against the Cavemen. 3 fouls on the Eagles and 1 on Carlsbad. Right before the timeout, Parker Henderson picked up his second foul, now on the bench.
Yeah, once again, though, Hobbs in foul trouble, and Carlsbad still sitting pretty at 1.
Pena gets the inbound in the left wing near the sideline, sends it down to Clay in the left corner. One dribble, one hands it up top, and it's a weak pass picked off as Vega tried to get it. Taken to the other side of the court and laid up with a double clutch on the left glass is Chavarria. His first bucket, second Eagle turnover. 14-9, the biggest lead, now 5 for the Cavemen. In the front court, spin move to the right baseline for Pena. Up top to Turbiatas. Comes back right, sends to Pena. Fadeaway 3 from the right corner, off the back of the rim. Rebound, Turbiatas at the free throw line. Puts it up top to Pena. Sends it left wing to Vega. Down to Clay, left corner. Another 3 on the way. It swishes it. He got knocked to the floor, no call, but Clay puts it through. Nice concentration. That's the second tray for the Eagles, who trail by 2, 14-12. Into the front court comes Gee. Kicks it up top, and holding for it for just a minute is Pierce. Back to the timeline to Chavarria. Sends it to the right side off the handoff to Orgain. Hippity hop, spin in the lane, turns and fires a sidewinder hook, and they call the body foul. Not sure they're going to call this on the shot or not. Near the free throw line that time, as they'll get the foul call against Hobbs. Abraham Pena's second, 14 foul. So now Pena and Henderson both with 2 apiece.
Yeah, and that was a shooting foul, so that will put him on the line to shoot 2. And Hobbs, once again, needing some help and slowing down those fouls and creating their own to be able to get on the line.
Third free throw converted by Kyron Orgain. He's 3 for 3 on the line, 5 for 5 the team at this point. Coach Zummer going to go back to his bench and bring in Josiah Galindo. Of course, Coach Zummer used to be an assistant varsity girls coach here in Hobbs under Coach Casals. Second free throw is good for Orgain. He's got 4 free throws in a row at 16-12. Carlsbad by 4. Clay will bring it across the timeline with 3:08 left first quarter. Finds Vega near the far left sideline. Up top to Clay. Again to Vega, yo-yo passing game. To Beatty, who checked in during the break in the left corner. Sends it to the free throw line to Turbiatas. Spins, tries to throw up a double clutch, and pulls the defender towards him as he throws up a shot. Got the referee's attention from the side view there, and I think he forced the issue there to get the foul. That's what we were talking about in the pregame show, Ron. Trying to track the flies to you, and that time he got Samuel Gee to bite for his first personal, second team foul.
The fouls aren't going to come to you. You've got to force them to happen, and that's the only way to do it, like Turbiatas just did.
They called that a non-shooting foul. Hobbs Eagle fans reacting here at Tasker. Looked like he was in the air on that one. Vega inbound, bounce it into the right corner to Wheeler, hands it back to Vega, to Wheeler again on the right block. Hook, no good. Gets a rebound and tries to throw it back up. It's stripped out of his hands and pulled down by Carlsbad. In the hands of Jacob Chavarria, he'll take the dribble to the front court. So it's pretty much a turnover on that one. They're third for the Eagles. Crossover move to the top of the circle. Jump stop and returns it back deep to Sullivan. Sullivan comes around the right circle with a double hand flick over to Orgain. He'll back it out for the right sideline. Fakes a 3, back up top to Sullivan. Fadeaway tray himself, an air ball. Rebound on the left block for the Eagles by Vega, his first. He'll take the dribble across the timeline with the crossover move. Underhands it to Clay on the right wing. Behind his back, backs outside the circle near the Hobbs Eagle logo, middle of the court. Over to Beatty on the left wing, down to Turbiatas' left corner. Returns to Beatty, who lost the ball behind him, took his eyes off of it, able to recover. Drives to the left elbow, pivots, spins, throws up a shot off the glass, and scores from the left side. Nice ball control in the air by Beatty. That's the 5th score for the Eagles, who trail by 2, 16-14. 1:52 left first quarter. Quick dribble for Chavarria. Shot from the left elbow, off the side of the rim, no good. Clay rips it down on the left block, his first rebound. He'll take the dribble himself into the front court. Crossover to the free throw line. Continues down the left side of the lane. Reverse layup high off the glass. It's bited into in the air. Foul on Jacob Chavarria, his first. That'll be the 3rd team foul against the Cavemen. So Hobbs will get a chance to get some free throw opportunities here. First chance in the game. Nobody's been on the line yet. Right now, Carlsbad is 6 of 6.
I know that's big part of it right there. Would also otherwise be 14-10 without those free throws for Carlsbad.
So Josiah Clay will step up. trying to get this game at least tied with a couple of free throws if possible. First shot is up, and it is good for Josiah Clay. Now, he came into the contest on the line at 70% this season. The Eagles as a team at 66%.
And once again, they've been consistent. One, to get them a little bit better, but again, you got to get on the line to be able to improve your numbers.
Right now, Clay with 4. Take a lot of time with the prelims there. Misses the second free throw. Ball loose. Wheeler tries to save it and throws it off the leg of a Caveman out of bounds, and that will go back to the Eagles. Nice move there for Wheeler to throw it off of Kyron Orgain's leg in the left corner.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to be close. Wasn't certain if he was going to be able to grab it or not, so instead he did the right thing of being able to knock it off the player's leg.
16-15, the Cavemen by 1. Clay has the inbound of the timeline to Vega left, returns it back to Clay. Well outside the circle to Hernandez, who just checked in for the Eagles in the right corner, to Clay on the right wing. Returns to Hernandez, drives up around the circle a little bit, gives it back to Clay left or right side. Cross court left to Beatty. Jab step, fires up an NBA 3 off the side of the rim, high up top of the backboard. Carlsbad chases it down on the left sideline. They'll go off with the dribble. Chavarria with the bow, make that Gee with the basketball. He gives it off to the right wing to Sullivan. Spins, got it with the travel. Kicks out to the right wing to Orgain, who's going to hold on to it for a second. Back to the time stripe to Gee. He taking his time now at the dribble. Gets double teamed as he came to the right side of the lane. Back up top to Orgain. Drives the lane himself. Throws it down to the left block. Air ball by Galindo, real close to the rim. And it's going to roll out on the far right sideline out of bounds. He tried to chase it down, but lost control of the ball as he went up with it and just sailed over the iron.
Yeah, and he also lost his footing, too. Just slid across the floor out of bounds. And so, yeah, he tried his best, Galindo did, but just could not retain that. And he goes back to Hobbs.
Bryce Mullins checking in for the Cavemen, who lead by 1. 38 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Top of the arc, Beatty swinging left to Clay, again to Beatty. Also a new sub in the game, Jaime Cano steps in. To Beatty on the left elbow, fires a J off the back of the rim. Pulled down on the right block for the Cavemen by Sullivan, his third rebound. Tries to throw it to the timeline and a stumble step here as losing control of the basketball, then running into the Hobbs Eagle defender, Zenas Huerta. They call the travel, and that'll be the third turnover for the Cavemen. Hobbs basketball in the front court with 21 seconds left first quarter.
And could grab the lead with this possession.
Inbound to Clay on the left wing. Bounce pass low to Wheeler. Spins left, goes hard to the rack with a double clutch. Misses it off the back of the iron, left side. And a rebound on the right block by Orgain, his first rebound. Throws it to the timeline, dribbling across is Chavarria. Reverse layup left, misses over the rim. Rebound for the Eagles by Cano. Dribbles in the front court, a half-court shot at the buzzer. Nope, they're going to stop the clock at .4. Went over the backboard out of bounds, so that will be Carlsbad at .4. Pretty much just a chuck unless Coach Zumbrin just wants to run out the clock here with a 1-point lead.
Probably just run out the clock. That shot was a little premature.
Inbound in the backcourt to Huerta will run out the clock for the first quarter. Carlsbad leading by 1 here at Tasker Arena over the Hobbs Eagles, 16-15. We'll be back at 60 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Back live here at Task Arena. We get ready to start the second quarter. Carlsbad leads your Eagles 16-15. For the Cavemen, leading with 5 apiece, Samuel Gee and Shane Sullivan. 4 for Orgain and 2 for Jacob Chavarria. For your Eagles, 4 apiece for Pena and Clay, 3 for Brandon Vega, 2 for Jerry Iris Turbiatis. Both teams with 5 rebounds. Eagles and Carlsbad both with 3 turnovers as well. Carlsbad basketball here in the second, leading by 1. On the left wing, front court. is Sullivan. Sends it up top to Garen Gossett. Down to the right block to Chavarria. Swings it down to the left block to Gee. Dribbles the middle of the lane. Kick it back up top to Chavarria for three off the back of the rim. Javier Turbiates with his second board. Outlet to the timeline to Pena. Dribbles to the free throw line. Fires up a J off the back of the iron. Rebound Turbiates off the left glass with two hands. Gets high and scores. Put it through the hole. Turbiates with 4 points and 3 rebounds. He's the top boardman so far for Hobbs. Their first lead of the game, 17-16. 7:15 left first quarter. Into the front court left wing is Gee. Backs into his defender Vega at the free throw line. And then returns the ball over to Sullivan left side. Jab step. Put it up top to Gossett. Sends it down a sailing pass to Chavarria in the right corner. To the right wing again to Orgain. Up top, 3 on the way. Gee off the back of the iron. Actually, that was Gossett, no good. There's Turbiates again, just waiting for the ricochet. His 4th rebound. Outlet across the timeline to Pena left wing to Beatty same side, and returns to Pena on the left sideline. Screen from Henderson. At least he tried one. Dribbling around the right side of the lane, and a fadeaway from the baseline. Came from left to right that time was Pena. Got bodied as he threw the ball up on the foul. That'll be against the Cayman, of course. And we've got a new foul count here. The first on the Cayman. That's going to be the second against Samuel Gee. First here in the second quarter, which puts Pena on the charity stripe for the season, shooting at 63%. Hobbs right now is 1 for 2 on the line, 50%. Those free throws coming from Clay. This one now from Pena as he nails it. He's got 5, and now is the leading scorer for the Eagles.
Already doing better than he did last time he played Carlsbad. He was 0 for 1 on the line, so it's good to see he's improved.
Misses the second one on the ricochet. Pulled down on the right block for the Cavemen by Orgain, his second rebound. 18-16, Eagles with their biggest lead of the game at 2. Into the front court. Pass over to the right wing to Gossett. Gives it behind him to Orgain, right side. Dump it back to Gossett on the right block. Spins in the middle of the paint. Kick it out left wing to Chavarria. Back to Gossett at the free throw line. Double team. Underhand pass underneath the hoop. Reverse layup right to left. Missing everything is Sullivan. Long rebound for Beatty in transition. Beatty will find Pena left baseline. Fumbled the basketball in front of him on the base, and it's pulled away by Gossett for the Eagles' 4th turnover. Gossett's trying to pass up court to the left side and gets the ball knocked out of his hands. Coach Zumbra jumps up to the baseline. Thought the Eagles touched it last. They are going to try to give it to Hobbs. Referees are going to have a conference, and they're going to point the other direction. It'll be Carlsbad basketball as the Hobbs Eagle fans react.
Yeah, it looked like that was the good, not the call I wanted to see, but it is the right call. They went off of Vega's hands.
Inbounding on the left baseline of the backcourt, Xavier Onsiris as he gets it into Chavarria. Hobbs is going to play a half-court defense, 2-3 extended zone. As Chavarria takes his time across the time stripe. Unloads to Orgain right wing. Dump it to the free throw line to Gossett. Back to Orgain right corner. A 3 on the way and puts it through a high rainbow shot for Orgain. 7 for him. And Coach Ross not happy. No defenders getting out there. Screaming at this team. 19-18. 3 at the other end for Vega on the right side at the back of the rim. Rebound by Henderson on the left block. Gives it to Turbiates free throw line. A runner shot down the lane with a finger roll. Count the basket and the foul. Tried to put a chest on him that time was Gossett. His first personal, second Carlsbad team foul. And for Turbiates, that's his 6th point to become the scoring leader.
Yeah, and that's what we want to see. We're going to see points like that with Turbiates and other players taking charge of it, being able to drive the lane, be able to get inside, get that easy basket, and possibly the and one. That would definitely make this game a whole lot better for the Hobbs Eagles.
Turbiates 59% on the season. A fadeaway free throw there. He's got 7 as he makes that one. Eagles are now 3 of 5 from the charity stripe for 60% and lead by 2 once again, 21-19. 5:28 left in the half. Into the front court, a pass to Gee on the left wing. It gets a 2-3. To Gossett in the left elbow, slides right, hands it up top. A 3 on the way for Chavarria. Bounces hard at the back front of the rim. Pulled down and put back up in the right block, missing everything, but then tipped back on the right side. As putting it down was Gossett. The first shot was attempted there by Xavier Onsiris, but Gossett puts it through, 21 all. Into the front court, Turbiates in the left corner. Puts it up to Vega deep near the scorer's table there on the left sideline. To Pena at the time stripe. To Henderson on the free throw line. Turns and fires a J. Ball bouncing around the rim 3 or 4 times. No good. Turbiates throws it up on the right side of the rim, falling backwards and puts it through for 2. Turbiates now has 7 points and 5 rebounds to lead the Eagles. Hobbs by 2 again. Coming across the timeline, it's Chavarria. Slows it up with a pass left wing to Gee. Trying to move the zone of the Eagles. Back to Chavarria, cross court right to Orgain. He'll hold it for a second, give it back to Chavarria on the top of the circle. Beatty will step out on him now. Sends it to Guy on the left side for three and swishes it. Guy now with his second tray of the ball game. He's got 8 points. That is the third tray, or make it the fourth for Carlsbad. Timeout on the court as Pena drives to the timeline. Coach Ross wants to talk to the troops. 4:18 remaining, second quarter. Carlsbad 24, your Hobbs Eagles 23. Come back with us in 30 seconds live on HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, the Cool 95.7 Facebook page, and on the radio at Cool 95.7. .418 left here in the second quarter. Eagles trail by 1, 24-23. Hobbs after a timeout as they bring it across the timeline. Abraham Pena dribbling the basketball. A 1-2-2 zone. Carlsbad now switching to a 2-3. Over to Vega left wing. Returns to Pena behind him on that left sideline. Screen from Henderson. Pass to the right corner to Beatty. Drives the right block. Turns and fires off the front of the glass. And it box off the rim a little bit. Front side, no good. Rebound by Samuel Guy. His second board. Gives it off to the timeline to Chavarria. Dribble across. Over to Gossett on the right wing. Handoff behind right side to Orgain. Keeps it same side once again to Onceras. Helium throw up top and a bad pass. Ripped away by Pena in the air. He goes to the rack at the other end. Looked like he wanted to dunk it from the right side. Just kind of pushes it over the rim. So that'll be the fourth turnover for Carlsbad. And Pena now with 7 points. 25-24, Hobbs by 1. Boy, that was a dangerous pass by Onceras. The Eagles making him pay. Driving the lane is Chavarria. Sends it back deep to Orgain right wing. His three, a fadeaway off the side of the rim. Hits his own rebound, though, at the top. His third board. Tries to pass to the left side of the lane, and it's taken away by Beatty. That's the fifth Carlsbad turnover. Beatty takes it to the rack on the reverse, right to left, off the glass, and scores.
Another nice move.
Beatty with 4 points. 5 Carlsbad turnovers. A couple of them coming late. Coming across the timeline, dribbling through his legs is Chavarria behind his back on the left wing. Beatty will step out on D. To the free throw line, double team with Pena. Over to left side to Guy, still outside the circle. Back to the timeline to Chavarria. Looks like Carlsbad trying to send the Eagle defense out towards him. Crossover move to the left elbow, returns to Guy on the left wing with a pivot. Touch pass back to Chavarria. Guarded by Turbiatis, drives the left baseline, puts on the brakes at the left block, does Chavarria. Underneath the hoop, scoop pass over to the right corner to Onceras. Back deep to Orgain in the right wing. He'll back out to the scorer's table. Top of the circle after a screen from Gossett. 3 on the way, off the back of the rim, no good. Gossett with the rebound, right block, goes up and gets rejected by Henderson. Gets his own rebound and goes back up. And they're going to call a travel, shuffle the feet. Henderson swatted the ball a second time. They're going to say the travel as he tried to go back up with it for Carlsbad. Great job for Henderson staying just pretty much straight up with his body that time.
Exactly, and he's doing what he needs to. He's already tall enough. He doesn't need to jump up and leave his feet, so definitely played that one correctly.
Yeah, 6 of 11 from the charities, or 6'11" is his size there for the Eagles. 6 turnovers for Carlsbad. Payne in the front court, back to the timeline to Clay. Slides left with the dribble, finds Beatty. Returns back to Clay at the timeline. Go over to the right side to Pena. Pena with the 2-3 zone he's still facing. Dumps it to Henderson, middle of the free throw line. Fadeaway jumper and good. Defender, Gossett backed up for a second, and Henderson made him pay for it. That's his first bucket of the ball game. Eagles now have a total of 6 scorers. They lead by 5, their biggest lead of this very important game. They want to host a tournament game next week, Tuesday, here at home. Orgain has a pass in the right wing. Back to the time stripe to Chavarria. Looks back to Coach Zummer on the baseline in the backcourt. Coming up to get a screen for him is Jonathan Ontiveros. Ontiveros gets the pass at the top of the arc and gives it back to Chavarria now outside the circle. Beatty on defense right side. Screen up top by Ontiveros. Dribbles around to the left side and flicks it over to Guy on the wing. He'll back it up to the timeline, dribbling behind his back. Gets a screen from Ontiveros. Hippity hop to the right block. Fadeaway jumper in the paint for Guy and nails it. He's had some good body control on those jumpers and has 10 points to lead both teams. 29-26 though. Eagles are only up by 3. It's a close one. Pena in the front court. Drives to the free throw line. Fires to Jay himself and puts it through the hole. Pena now is putting up the points. He's got 9. And a 5-point Eagle lead. Throwing the ball up in the backcourt now is Chavarria. Gets the screen as he comes across by Anaveras. Dribbles to the left corner. Sends it back to the left wing to Gee. Fadeaway three is off the back of the rim. Tipped up in the air on the free throw line and chased down by Sullivan for his 4th rebound. Over to Orgain on the right wing. Screen from Anaveras. Gives it back to Anaveras on the right side with a couple of jab steps. Back deep to Orgain at the timeline far right. Screen up top from Anaveras. Drives and spins in the lane. Throws up a runner's shot at the back of the iron. Underneath the hoop is Henderson to pull it down. His 2nd board. Outlet far sideline to Beatty on the left. Dribbles up top of the circle front court. To Clay on the right wing. Crossover move to the middle of the paint. Runner shot himself, and he puts it through with a foul. He got shoved in the chest, able to fall backwards and still put the airborne shot through the hole.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see more contact being drawn to him. I want to see more shots being taken, especially that one. That was a very good shot. Made it even with the contact, so that is very impressive. All he has to do is get the and one, and it will definitely be worth it as we're about to head into halftime.
Anaveras, his first personal, 3rd team foul, a 3-0 foul count, favor the Eagles at this point. As Clay will get a chance to shoot here. He's got 6 misses off the back of the rim, though, pulled down on the right block by Orgain, his 4th rebound. Outlet to the far side to Chavarria with 14 seconds, making the left side, is in front of the Taskovich band. Stops his dribble, sends a high pass down to the left corner, jumping high forward is Gee. Spins against Beatty, left baseline, throws up a shot on the run, it's no good. Trying to get it is Wheeler underneath, extends his arm out there, rolls off his fingertips on the baseline. Carlsbad will have a high alley-oop on the inbound with just 0.9 seconds left in the second. Their last hurrah here to try to get it down from a 7-point deficit. Hobbs up by 7. On the left baseline, Orgain gets it in left corner, 3 on the way at the buzzer. Chavarria misses off the rim, no good. Rebound by Beatty at the buzzer. So here, Hobbs Eagles get a 7-point lead. They got a big number of 18 points in the second quarter, 10 for Carlsbad to get the 7-point lead, 33-26. We'll take a 3-minute break, come back with Hobbs Eagles halftime show live on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube, and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page.
Welcome back to the live action here at Tasker Arena, as we have a good close game against Carlsbad. A must-win for Hobbs if they want to continue to play in the playoffs. Right now it is 33-26. We're at halftime. Just saw a second attempt the first attempt. The second person trying to get the half-court shot did not make it. But, that's the way it goes sometimes. We're going to go ahead and talk about numbers, and for that, here is Ty Friend.
Well, the Cavemen have a double-digit score, the only one of the first half in this ball game. That's Samuel Gee. He's got 10 to lead the Cavemen with 2 3-pointers in the game so far. He also has a couple of rebounds. Kyron Orgain was 7 with 4 for 4 free throw shooting and a tray, so he's doing well. Shane Sullivan with 5 points, including a tray, 2 for 2 free throw shooting, and 4 rebounds. Jacob Chavarria and Garen Gossett both have a bucket apiece for 2. Gossett's also added 3 rebounds. Right now it's a tie in rebounds for teams, 13 for Carlsbad and 13 for the Hobbs Eagles. Carlsbad doing a great job in the line, a lot better than they did their home court. They are 6 of 6 so far in the first half, but all those 6 free throws, Ron, were in the first quarter. Hobbs has not been fouling at all in that second quarter.
Exactly, and that's something we like to see them do. Whether it be in the first half or the second half, they clean it up. They were doing some fouling in the first, and they did not in the second. Hopefully that will continue on the trend anyway, or at the very least it will make it to where Carlsbad is not in double bonus and being able to get on the line. That is killing Hobbs right now. Hobbs needs to get more of a rhythm and, of course, slow down Carlsbad.
Eagles had 4 fouls in the first quarter, 0 in the second quarter. And for your Hobbs Eagles, actually, one more stat on the Cavemen. They had 6 turnovers in the first half. Their biggest lead was 5 points. For your Hobbs Eagles getting close to double digits, 2 guys. Abraham Payne with 9 points. He's 1 of 2 for the charity stripe. Jairus Turbiatis with 9 points, 7 of those coming in the second quarter. He was also 1 of 1 from the line, and the leader in rebounding as well with 5. It was Josiah Clay coming off the bench for 6 points. He had a tray and was 1 of 3 from the charity stripe with the rebound. Braylon Vega with the tray for 3 points. Braddock Beatty came off the bench with a couple of buckets for 4 and 2 rebounds. And Parker Henderson had a bucket for 2 and 2 boards. Hobbs with 6 scores in the first half, just 5 for Carlsbad. We mentioned Eagles with 13 boards, the same as Carlsbad. Turbiatis with 5, he was the leader. Beatty and Henderson both with 2. Hobbs had 2 less turnovers in the first half with 4 compared to 6. And for the free throw stripe, 3 for 6 for 50%. So Hobbs started to get more free throw chances, but still only half of them made at this point. Although they do have the 7-point lead, of course, down by 1 at the end of the first. Hobbs outscoring Carlsbad 18-10 in the second, Ron.
Exactly, and one of the things I've noticed, I don't know if he did or not, since he's only had 2 shots, Henderson looks like he's been working on a shot about mid-range. Looks like it's right around the foul line, and he missed his first attempt, but he did make the second one, hoping to see if he's able to keep away from those fouls, that he can be able to work on that a little bit more, maybe make a difference, because it's very hard to defend a tall player like that, especially with a shot like that.
And notice he's either getting a head or a ball fake on his defender. Gossett's been up there a couple of times, and then the kid will back up for a second when he does the fake, and that's when he turns and fires the J.
Exactly.
And sometimes you don't like that as much because you don't have your big guy rebounding, but if he crashes after that, he's going to be deadly in the paint. That's going to take a year or so to continue to do that, get more physical, and he's definitely becoming a presence. We mentioned almost a double-double last week.
Exactly. Plus, the thing is this. You don't have to worry about rebounds if you actually make the shot. You just have to worry about it if you are not on target. Right now, like I said, that first one looked a little weak. It didn't have quite the spin on it, but the second one was dead on. We hit the cylinder and was dropped right in. So I'm thinking that if he can continue to get open or at least see the opportunity, he's going to turn around and make those shots.
Ron, are you concerned about the trays put down so far by Carlsbad? They got a couple for Gee, 1 apiece for Gain and Sullivan. It seems like most of them have been open shots.
Exactly, and that's another thing that especially Hobbs needs to protect that perimeter. That's what they did pretty much last time too. Carlsbad came out strong. They had 3 in a row, 3 trays in the corner over there. They were able to make them. Then after that, Carlsbad struggled with their threes, but still, regardless of that, Carlsbad is going to try to get those trays up. They're easy points. They're good points. Hobbs does the same thing. Hobbs just needs to protect that perimeter and be able to slow down this Carlsbad offense.
We mentioned in the pregame show The opponents do have the advantage in the third quarter against Hobbs in the 5 games in the district schedule so far. Outscored Hobbs 93-75, so 18-point differential. This is the best quarter for their opponents in the season.
Yeah, exactly. But if Hobbs can reverse that trend, and I'm not going to say they want to cruise on it. They definitely want to keep the gas pedal pressed in the fourth quarter. But third quarter is always going to be important if you want to win the game. Just continue with this hot streak. They got it back in. They're up by 7. If Hobbs can continue to get the momentum and increase this lead, they have a chance, of course, to get a win and be able to get 3-3 in the district.
Yeah, and also a home game on Tuesday for the district tournament. That would be the first round. They have to beat Carlsbad by at least 2 points to break the tie in terms of the records. If they were to beat Carlsbad here tonight, if Carlsbad wins, they're going to be the 4th seed. Hobbs will have to go on the road on Tuesday. Right. We'll take a final 60-second break. Get ready for second half action. Hobbs 33, Carlsbad 26. Stay with us on the Hobbs Eagle Network.
Welcome back to Ralph Tasker Arena as we're set to start the third quarter. We got a lead, 33-26 against this Carlsbad team. And with the call, here is Ty Friend.
Rod, I got to put you on the spot right here. If you had to pick one key for the Hobbs victory, what is it?
I'm saying it's going to be turnovers. The team that doesn't turn over the ball as much will win this game.
Right now it's very close. 6 for Carlsbad, 4 for the Hobbs Eagles. Eagles up by 7 to start the third quarter. Payne over to left side to Vega, drives left corner, fade away, 18-footer in and out, no good. Pulled down on the right block by the K-man for Gossett, his 4th board. He has the ball stolen, and Vega tried to go up with it. I didn't even know he was going to get a shot off. They called the foul, left side of the hoop, and Gossett tried to pass underneath the basket in his backcourt. Not a good decision. He's paying the price for it. They don't get the foul on him. Instead, it's Shane Sullivan's first. First team foul against the K-men. Also, their 7th turnover, which will put Vega on the line. Has had a quiet night scoring so far with just 3 points, but shooting 75% on the season from the charity stripe. Misses the free throw. Hobbs now 3 of 7 from the line. They're, believe, 50% now in the 40s.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, it's still really early in this quarter, but Hobbs is looking strong, and if they can continue that momentum, it will be very nice to see them win this game.
Of course, Vega had 21 against Clovis on the game last week. Second free throw is good for Vega. Went 1 of 2, has 4 points.
Yeah, bounced back and forth, and it finally dropped in.
Biggest lead of the game now is 8 for your Hobbs Eagles. Into the front court, Chavarria drives to the right elbow. Uses up the dribble and returns or a gain in the right wing. Payne will come out on defense, waiting for a screen. Gossett will put one on him. Orgain to the left elbow, kicks it left corner. Fadeaway 3 for Sullivan, no good. Henderson just waits for the ball to drop into his arms and picks up his 3rd rebound underneath the net. Up ahead to Pena, goes to the rack with a high-arching layup. Finger roll off the glass into the rack for 2. Pena going strong in the hole on the right side. Pena with 11 points to lead the Eagles, the top scorer in the game as well. 10-point Eagle lead, the biggest of the contest. Into the front corner of the left wing, pivoting is Gossett. Returns to Gee, who can streakily shoot it from the outside if he wants. Crossover move to the left elbow, pivots. In the lane, turns and fires a shoulder shot from the right side, no good. Henderson rips it down and throws some elbows. He's got his 4th board. Up ahead to Vega on the far right sideline. Crossover move, front court, top of the arc against a 2-3 zone and backs it out to the Hobbs Eagle logo. Finds Turbiatis on the right wing, and 3 on the way and good. J. Iris Turbiatis, he had a tray against Clovis last week too. 12 points for him as the Hobbs Eagles have converted now on 3 trays and lead their biggest of 13.
And Carlsbad fans are stunned right now. They're very quiet.
Gossett at the top of the arc in the front court, underhands it to Orgain in the right wing. Drives the middle of the paint, and out of the left side. Knocked out of his hands by Turbiatis for Carlsbad's 8th turnover. Gossett gets the steal for the Eagles' 5th turnover in the paint. Throws it back down the lane, and a hook shot sidewinder by the caveman by Sullivan. And they're going to call him for shuffling the feet for a travel. That'll be turnover number 9. So back at 4 turnovers in that 1/22nd bit of time there.
And it happens sometimes with these two teams. They're very young.
Pena will come across the time stripe to the right circle. Over to the right side to Beatty, drives to the right elbow. Kicks it over to Turbiatis in the corner. Almost slid the pivot foot and looked like he was going to get a travel, but able to get the ball away to Pena far side. To Henderson, middle of the free throw line. He pivots, gives it back to Pena on the give and go. Fadeaway jumper off the dribble right base from 18 off the rim, no good. Rebound, Turbiatis tried to patty kick it back up, no good. His second effort puts it through on middle of the rim, and he gets the bucket. Actually, no, that wasn't Turbiatis. It was behind
Beatty.
him. Yeah, Beatty picks up his 6-point, 3rd rebound. It's now 41-26, a 15-point lead. Eagles' biggest of the game. Backing into his defender, Gee in the middle of the paint offensively, and he had Vega and Beatty converging on him in the squeeze play. Calling the foul, it looks like, as they give it to Carlsbad on that right baseline underneath the hoop. They'll charge the foul to Vega. That'll be his first team foul against the Eagles here in the 3rd. They had no fouls in that 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and Hobbs starting off on the right foot. 8-0 run so far in this 3rd quarter with 5:24 remaining.
Carlsbad inbounds right base to Chavarria underneath the hoop. Reverse layup underneath it from the right to left with 2 hands over the back of his head there. And then a whistle up before the Eagles try to get the inbound. It looks like they call the timeout from the other end. But Hobbs with a big double-digit lead, more than what they had at half of 7. It's now up to 13, 41-28. 5:17 left here in the 3rd. Come back with us in 30 seconds on the Hobbs Eagle Network. (41-28). Your Hobbs Eagles up by 13. The lead has been as big as 15 here in the 3rd quarter. Right before the half started, Ron, you said turnovers could be the difference, and we've seen several for Carlsbad. Hobbs has had 1 or 2, though, but Hobbs taking more advantage of those turnovers.
Yeah, plus it's what you do with the turnover, not just getting it, that counts.
Eagles will have it after a timeout as Pena will bring it across the timeline over to Vega on the right side. He'll take a few dribbles down to the corner, return to Henderson on the right wing. Pena on the same side, drives baseline, crossover move, backs it out. Back to Henderson, right wing, hand off to Pena at the sideline. Up top to Turbiatis, to the left side to Vega. Gets a screen for Vega. Stop and go dribble, underhands to Pena, driving the right baseline, high off the rack, and a double clutch and a foul. Coach Ross steps on the court, throws a fist in the air, excited about the chance for a 3-point play, and that will be 13 now for Pena, taking a hard of the rack from the right side as they get the foul call against Gee, his 3rd second team foul.
And this is something that we didn't get to see so much with Hobbs against district play, was the simple fact that they were driving, making their own decisions, being able to drive the lane, be able to get those fouls as well as make those shots.
Free throw is up and good for Pena. He's got 14 to lead the Eagles. Again, the last time these two teams played, just 40-39, Carlsbad winning. Hobbs already beating the numbers in that game. Coming down the lane right is Chavarria. Sends it to the left corner to Gee. Backs out from his defender Beatty on the far left sideline. He'll dribble up top near the Hobbs Eagle logo at the time stripe. Coming back to get the ball is Chavarria. Turbiatis stepping right out there with the mint shoes that he has on his feet. Finds Orgain on the right wing. Stop and go dribble. Goes to the rack right side. Throws up a shot. Almost got blocked by Henderson, but he's able to throw over the top of his fingertips and puts it through the glass in the rack. Orgain now with 9 points. 14-point Eagle lead, though. Pena come across the timeline. A double screen up top. Turbiatis and Henderson. Finds Beatty left corner. Drives baseline left side. Double clutch as he comes to the rim on the dribble. And a body foul. He had a couple of blue jerseys crashing into him on that left block. And a chance for 2 free throws. And it looks like the guy they're going to charge it to has just picked up his 4th personal, Samuel Gee. That's going to be a hurtful one for him. He's the leading scorer with 10 points for Carlsbad.
And mostly because he gets those trays. He is fanatic with those trays. And he was one of the reasons why Carlsbad won last time. And Hobbs is just trying to end this 4-game losing streak against the Cavemen.
Beatty with the first free throw up and good. He's got 7 points. Hobbs up by 15 to match her biggest lead of the game, 45-30, but they can make it 16 with the second free throw. 4:06 left, third quarter. Again, the Eagles need to win by as many as 2 to go into the hosting game of Tuesday next week in the district tournament. Missing off the back of the rim is Beatty, but they got a lane violation, a late whistle. 2 of the Carlsbad kids crashed in the boards that time on the left side, but the whistle came after they both had a hand on it, so not quite sure what he's calling there. He's pointing at the stripes on the line there on the side of the left side of the lane, but just kind of a late whistle on that one. Beatty will get one more for the Hobbs Eagles advantage here. Second shot is up, off the front of the rim, though, no good. Underneath the hoop, pulling it down is Orgain for his 5th rebound. Pass far side left to Chavarria, back deep to Orgain, and again to Chavarria. Yo-yo passing game. He'll dribble to the front court, stop and go. Cross court right to Orgain. Fires up an NBA 3 right side, off the back of the rim, no good. Long rebound for Payne in transition right side. That's his first rebound. Finds Beatty, right corner, fadeaway 3 out the front of the rim, no good. Oh. Hit by Orgain at the free throw line into the Hobbs Eagle backcourt. They're able to chase it down, and Pena comes up with it. Finds Vega, right corner. He spots a 3 and nothing but net. Vega with his second tray in the game. He's got 7 points. 48-30, the biggest lead of the contest, 18 for your Hobbs Eagles. 48-30, 3:20 left, third quarter. Chavarria in the front court. Stop and go after a screen from Onceras. Gives it off to the right side of Sullivan. Returns up top to Chavarria. He'll put up an NBA 3 off the back of the rim, a clunker. Pulled down by Henderson high in the air, his 5th rebound. Outlet ahead to Vega. No look pass right corner to Beatty. Fakes a pass up top, turns and fires a double pump in the middle of the paint and banks it in for 2. Beatty's starting to get on fire now. He's got 5 here in the third quarter and 9 overall. 50-30, the biggest lead is 20 here at Tasker. Chavarria in the front court, some slow crossover moves, gets a screen. Throws a jumper from 3 on the left side and puts it through. Breaking a drought there. He's got 7 points. We're going to keep it right here at Tasker Arena. You can feel a big momentum shift during this third quarter. Hobbs did have a 7-point lead, but are starting to move the ball up and down the court a little faster. Have extended it now to 17, Ron.
Exactly. That is because they've got they had a huge run. Other than that three-pointer, they were doing really well. 17-7 is what it is now in the third quarter. We were talking about the fact that Hobbs was struggling against district teams in the third quarter. We said if they came out strong that they would have a good chance. Still have the fourth quarter, so you cannot sleep on these Carlsbad cavemen. They will come back on you without you even knowing it sometimes. They're sneaky that way. But Hobbs looking really good so far.
How much do you think the motivation was that they did not want to have to go to Carlsbad Tuesday, a place they lost by 1 point a week or 2 ago?
Oh, if anything else, just not wanting to go to Carlsbad. You know, if you can avoid going to the cave, if you can play at home, you definitely want to do that, and especially since you already have 1 game up on them, and you don't want to sink down to their level to be able to have to go back to Carlsbad to play a game that you know you should have won.
Of course, the Hobbs Lady Eagles thumping on the Gabe girls tonight, and looks like they're going to have a district championship for the regular season, which punches their ticket to the state tournament.
Well, they already had it, but yeah, tonight looks like the final is official. 63-26 is what they had, and yeah, it is definitely over with. So Carlsbad loses that one. Hobbs is 6-0 in the district, and they are definitely district champs.
That will punch their ticket also to the district tournament championship. Only 1 game they'll have to play. That'll be Friday night, which will be right here at Tasker Arena. Pena will bring it across the timeline for the Eagles after the timeout, up by 17. Bounce pass to Beatty on the right wing, gets a double team, returns it back to Pena, top of the circle. Back to Beatty, right wing. Jump stop in the right elbow off the dribble. Back deep to Pena at the timeline. Also on the court is Hernandez, Clay, and Turbiatis, couple subs in there now. To Beatty on the left wing. Cross court right, a dangerous one. Payne has to jump for it. Trying to post up Turbiatis on the right block. He has to jump back and get it. And returns back deep to Payne. So Hobbs has some dangerous passes here. Leading by 17. Payne going to hold the ball now on the far right sideline near the scores table. Chavarria giving him a big cushion. Screen coming from Turbiatis. Slides left and unloads to Clay on the left wing. Dumps it to Turbiatis, left elbow, turns and fires a J and puts it through the threads. Nice follow through for the big man, Turbiatis. He's got 14. 52-33, your Eagles by 19. 1:45 left, third quarter. Chavarria in the front court, dribbling through his legs against Clay. One hands it over to Gossett, right wing. Hand off behind to Galindo. Hippity hop move to the left elbow. Bounce pass left corner to Sullivan. Drives base. Shot from the left block. An air ball. Actually was blocked by Pena, but tipped back up and in on the right side by Gossett. Gossett puts it off the glass. 4 points and 5 rebounds for him. 17-point Eagle lead. Beatty in the front court, left wing. Drives to the left elbow. Fakes a shot. Over to Turbiatis left wing. He has to tap it to himself and chase it back to the timeline. Comes to the right side with a bounce pass to Payne in front of the scorer's table. Near the time stripe. Taking on Chavarria, beats him hard to the middle of the paint. Tries to throw up a shot, going towards the hoop, and is hit from behind. Chavarria got beat, and kind of a desperation foul there. Kind of hipped him from behind. Chavarria picking up his second personal. That'll be the 14th foul against the Cavemen. And Hobbs on the line once again. Pena currently on the free throw line. He is 2 of 3 for 66%.
Yeah, Chavarria wasn't paying attention and just ran into his player as, of course, he had stopped to make that shot, and Chavarria had too much momentum to do that.
First shot for Pena is up and ricocheting around and no good. So he'll remain at 14 points, trying to make it 15. He'll get one more free throw to extend the lead to 18. 4-1 foul count right now as Carlsbad starting to hurt a little bit. Samuel Gee with 4 fouls. And he's the leading scorer with 10, has not put any points down here in the third. Second shot is good for Pena. So Pena now with 15 points to lead both squads, and now an 18-point Eagle lead. Pena going to take a well-deserved breather as Soria checks in for the Eagles. Carlsbad basketball on the backcourt baseline. Sub coming in, Xavius Otsuris gets it in on the far left to Huerta in the backcourt. Returns to the right side to Galindo. Cross court left to the backcourt, still to Huerta. Again to Galindo. He'll bring it across the timeline, slowing it down on the right side. 50 seconds left in the third. Eagles by 18. Guarded by Beatty. One hand's over to the right to Onsiris. Turbiatas steps out on him, slings it back up top to Gossett. Gossett with the pivot. Here comes Clay on top of him. Hand up from behind to the time stripe to Onsiris. Comes back right and gives it off to Galindo. Drives the lane, throws up a shot of force. He tried to put himself through 2 defenders, Clay and Turbiatas, and just kind of got the, the officials' attention there, and just kind of slithered through like a snake. They called the foul on the Eagles. It looked like they were straight up that time, but Clay will pick it up the first. Second team foul against Hobbs.
Yeah, and Hobbs has had a huge momentum change in this third quarter. Carlsbad trying to get into it like we talked about earlier. You know, they are sneaky that way, but Hobbs still needs to continue with the strong, dominant play to be able to get this victory.
Strongest stat for the Cavemen right now. They are 7 of 7 after that first made free throw by Galindo. He's trying to go 2 for 2 now, so they're trying to get as many points as they can. The freebies on the line. Second shot's a swish as well for Galindo. He's got 2 points. 53-37. Eagles by 16. Full court pressure from the Cavemen. On the court now for Hobbs, Jaime Cano. Inbound to Clay on the far left, or make it the close left. Cross court right to Soria. Up ahead, Hernandez on the right wing front court. Back deep to Soria, swinging left to Clay. Outside the circle, still against an extended 2-3 zone. Again finds Soria on the yo-yo pass to the right wing. Up top to Clay again. Cross over to his left hand to the elbow. Over to Turbiatas' left corner. Returns to Clay on the left wing with 10 seconds. Puts it through his legs and backpedals to the timeline. Dribbles with his left hand to the left side of the lane. Runs over his defenders. He tries to pass. Lost sight of the defenders. He threw it over to Turbiatas on a no-looker and ran right into Onsiris for the charge. And that will be his second personal for Clay and the third team foul. Also a turnover for the Eagles. Only 6 in the ball game, which is still 3 less than the Cavemen, who really racked him up in this third. 4 seconds left in the third. High pass down the near sideline to Galindo. 3-quarter court shot at the buzzer. It was a banker, but it goes off the front of the rim, no good. So the Hobbs Eagles extend a 7-point lead at the half, up to 16 right now. 53-37 of the Cavemen. We'll come back with fourth quarter action live on the Hobbs Eagle Network in 60 seconds. Get ready for the finale here at Tasker Arena. 53-37, your Hobbs Eagles lead the Carlsbad Cavemen. Cavemen have won in double digits, but he hasn't scored in the third quarter. Samuel Gee with 10, 9 for Gain, and 7 for Chavarria for your Hobbs Eagles. 15 for Pena, 14 for Turbiatis, 9 for Beatty, 7 for Vegas, 6 for Clay. Hobbs basketball leading this game by 16. Carlsbad has it. Coming down the lane with a lefty hook and getting fouled as he leans to the hoop left side is Gee. He's been kind of quiet with 4 fouls. Didn't score in the third quarter because he had a lot of bench time. They called the foul on the Eagles, the body foul. Braylon Vegas second. And that'll be the first team foul here in this fourth quarter. And Ron, only 7 fouls up to that one there. Now 8 in the game. It's pretty clean for Hobbs.
Exactly, and that's what we wanted to see. Clean it up a little bit. Keep Carlsbad off the line. That was a hard foul to take simply because Vega couldn't play it any other way, really, and just had to take that foul. And hopefully it will be a loss on the, at least misses for Carlsbad.
That was the first miss of the game. Gee misses the first one. They were 8 of 8, now 8 of 9, and then makes the second, does Gee. So now 9 of 10, 90% in the contest, the Cavemen. They have 11 points now for Gee. 53-38, Hobbs by 15. Beatty in the front court. Gets an extended 2-3 zone, comes left, unloads to Vega. Vega will dribble back to the timeline, gets the ball knocked out from behind by Orgain, but right over to Pena, who picks it up on the far right. Back to Vega right wing, a fadeaway 3 off the back of the rim. High in the air for the rebound on the left elbow is Chavarria. The dribble across the timeline, crossover behind his back. Sends it over to the right side to Sullivan. Fires up a 3 himself, and he gets it to go through as well. Sullivan with a big, long shot there. He's got 2 trays in the game and 8 points, and Coach Zumbrud calls a timeout. Again, Carlsbad kind of chipping away at the lead, but still Hobbs up by 12, 53-41. We talked about that at halftime, though, Ron, to make sure we contested the 3-point shot. Haven't been as damaging in this second half, but right now you don't want to see them start hitting in the fourth.
Exactly, and once they smell a little blood in the water and say, look, we've been shooting the threes and be able to make more of them than we wanted to or we thought we could, they're going to go back to it because especially with this big deficit that Carlsbad has, they're going to try anything and everything, and the 3-point shot is one of those big ones that most teams rely on or die on.
6 3-pointers so far for the Cavemen. That's 18 points on the scoreboard, which would give them a lead if we could add it to it right now, but that's up until this point. They still trail with the Eagles by 12. Right now, Braylon Vegas have a couple of trays to his name so far. Also getting one, Josiah Clay, and Turbiatis fired one too. That's 4 3-pointers for the Hobbs Eagles with that 12-point lead, 53-41. Has been as big as 20 points in the third quarter. So Hobbs trying to get their 3rd win here in district.
Yeah, and they'd also have a 6-5 home record, which is great.
If they do win this and Roswell loses, they would be tied with records at least, but Roswell has the tiebreaker. Payne is going to weave through traffic after the inbounder now in the front court of the near left sideline. Gets guarded by Orgain near the Taskervich band. Cross court right to Beatty near the time stripe. Fakes a pass, dribbles behind his back, returns to Pena near left. He'll hold the ball for a second. A high pass up top to Henderson with the pivot. Gives it to Beatty on the right wing. Down to the right corner to Turbiatis. 18-footer. High shot off the right rim. No good. Gets his own rebound on the right sideline. His 7th. Finds Vega left corner for 3 off the rim. No good. And Orgain with the rebound in the right corner for Carlsbad. That's his 6th rebound. 53-41. Hobbs by 12. 6:30 remaining. In the front court is Chavarria after a pass. He's taken on Beatty. Left side on the perimeter. Stop and go dribble. Top of the arc. Dumps it off to the right wing to Ontiveros. To the right side, Orgain. 180 spin to the free throw line now. Continues on the left side of the lane. Double clutch. Ball sails around the rim and goes through. They say he got body fouled as he tried to go through 2 defenders that time. They might count the basket here. No, the official going to say on the ground. That ball went in, but maybe it was a little bit too late on the shot that time. That will be a charged foul to the Eagles, which is Turbiatis, his first personal, 2nd team foul. On the line is Orgain. He is perfect. All 4 of his free throws, though, in the first quarter. He does have 9 points, so he can get into double digits with a 1 free throw out of 2 here. Can't believe they didn't count that basket. Misses out the front of the rim. Wait a second.
No, I think they did.
The one official went to the table, said it was going to be a 2-shot foul. They only give him 1, so they do count the basket. Pulled down by Turbiatis. That was his 7th rebound. And trying to drive across the middle of the court was Pena, and he got bodied into by Chavarria, who just picked up his 3rd personal. 15th foul or correction, no, that's the first team foul. Was adding to my third quarter fouls, which we don't do anymore in the new rules. Hobbs basketball on the far right sideline. His inbounding will be Beatty.
Chavarria gambled, and he lost on that one, trying to get the ball away.
10-point Eagle lead. Beatty throws it in, gets it back on the right wing. Stumbled a little bit, finds Turbiatis on the free throw line. Scoops it back to Pena at the time stripe. Cross court right to Beatty. Yo-yos it back to Pena on the left side of the middle stripe. Gets a screen from Henderson. Drives the lane. Runner shot from the left side of the paint. Off the back of the rim. Henderson tried to get a piece of it to rebound. Instead, it's pulled down by Clay on the right block. Clay returns to the right wing. Beatty for three off the back of the iron. Turbiatis trying to chase it on the baseline to save it, but it already hit the line. He ran up on the benches there on the back wall behind the Hobbs Eagle side of the court on the baseline. So Clay picked up his second rebound prior to that. Hobbs still holding on to a 10-point lead, but Carlsbad has whittled down a 20-point deficit that was there in the third quarter.
Exactly. That's because Hobbs has gone scoreless so far in this fourth quarter. They need to get back on the offense if they want to keep this a fairly good contest.
5.5 minutes remaining in the fourth. Into the front court. Stop and go for a gain. Spins at the free throw line. Sails over to the right wing to Galindo. Galindo guarded by Pena. One hands it back deep to Orgain near the Hobbs Eagle logo, middle of the court. Clay right on top of it. Over to Sullivan, left wing, down to Gee in the left side of the paint. Turns and fires a hook shot off the back of the rim. Coach Zimmerman yelling for the foul, not getting it. Rebound on the right wing by Orgain. That's his seventh. Tries to pass down low, and the ball gets knocked out of the right baseline. Zumbert is throwing a fit there on the baseline. Every call now, he's wanting for the caveman. They're going to get the ball back, and the Orgain will inbound from the right base. Eagles up by 10. Gets it in quickly to Gee in the right corner, guarded by Beatty. And we got bodies crashing at the free throw line. Pena takes a spill to the floor. It looked like he got run over by Orgain, just crashing bodies, and they get the foul on Orgain. Second on him, off ball. That's a second team foul, and that will be a turnover for Carlsbad. Ball really hadn't even gotten in the court yet. That will be the 10th caveman turnover. Coach Zimmerman yelling at the official and the fans for Hobbs, telling him to sit down. Pena will come across the timeline on the dribble far right, up top to Beatty. Beatty, they stop, gives it back to Henderson right wing, touch it over to Clay on the far right sideline behind him. 4:50 left, crossover move, stays sideline. One hands it to Beatty in the right corner, back deep to Pena at the timeline, running clock. To Beatty on the right wing, fakes an NBA three, returns to Pena at the time stripe. Up top to Turbiatis, now at the free throw line. Gives it back to Pena, top of the circle. Thought about a three, but pulled it back when the defender came out on him. That was Galindo. Drives to the right corner, almost lost it on the fumble. Picks it up to Beatty with the pass right wing. Cross court left to Clay. Turbiatis comes back and gets it on the left wing. Returns back deep to Beatty at the time stripe. 4:18 left. Over the right side to Pena. Of course, the Hobbs Eagle fans getting a little restless. They want to see some scoring. Screen from Henderson. Driving baseline right side is Pena. He gets bodied into, then pushed in the back as he tried to get in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench on the drive underneath the hoop on the right side. They get the foul on Carlsbad as they'll catch that one. The fifth foul. Looks like Gee is going to have to exit.
Yep.
He was tied for the leading scorer for Carlsbad with 11 points. Him and Orgain, but he is going to leave the contest on his fifth foul at a 10-point Eagle lead. That is going to hurt Carlsbad, although he was pretty silent in the second half.
Exactly, but that was some nice sportsmanship there when he hugged Coach Reeves.
Third foul for Carlsbad. The inbound to the right corner to Pena, posting up Beatty in the right block. Returns to Pena near the sideline. Almost shot a three. Coming out was Orgain on D underneath the Henderson. Drives underneath the basket from right to left on the baseline. They're going to say he was bodied into. Never really had a chance to go up underneath the hoop to score that time, so this is a push foul, and that'll go against the Cavemen. A charge to Sullivan, his second personal, 14th foul. Eagles one away from the bonus with just under 4 minutes remaining and a 10-point lead. Beatty to inbound on the right baseline. Eagles have three stacked up right side of the lane. One is Clay on the left. Gets the inbound in the left block, backs out to the left corner. Sends it back deep to Payne in front of the Taskovich band on the left side. He'll back it out to the time stripe. 53-43. Stop and go. One hands over to right wing to Beatty. Beatty fakes a pass. Backs it out. Stop and go. Cross over to left elbow. To Clay on the left wing. Dribbles through his legs behind his back. Drives it down the right side of the lane. Back door to Henderson. Going up strong with two hands. Gets shoved underneath the basket. He was going to go up and dunk. But that shove came right before he's going to go up with it. And the foul. Hopefully it's going to be a shooting foul. Regardless, a double bonus. So they'll get the foul call against, once again, Sullivan, his third. And the 15th foul, double bonus for the Eagles.
Yeah, that was definitely in the act of shooting. But you're like you said, either way, It's the 5th foul. They're in bonus now, Hobbs is, and so try to make the most of it and get a single point or their first point. Haven't done it yet. Hobbs has not scored yet with 3:35.
Henderson 59% on the season as he misses the free throw there. His first of the game. He's got 2 points. Coach Zumbern way out on the court in the backside there for Carlsbad and booed by the Hobbs Eagle fans. They don't care that he used to coach here, I guess. Second shot for Henderson's a swish. 1 of 2. He's 3 points now. 11-point lead for the Eagles. And it's Carlsbad basketball with 3.5 remaining. Chavarria bring it across against Clay. Gets a screen up top from Gossett. Fadeaway Jay from the left elbow. Hard off the back of the rim. Pena with the rebound. His second. Dribbles into the front court, far right wing. Slows it down and backs it out to the timeline in front of the scores table. Stop and go. Down the lane. Goes to the rack. High over the rim and scores. That quick first step for Pena. And he's got some more points. This is first bucket in the 4th. 17 for him.
Nobody contested that one. He was all alone.
Leading scorer right now, 17 for Pena, 14 for Turbiatis. Going to the rack at the other end, Chavarria, a little finger roll as he went around 2 defenders to the left side of the lane. Looked like Beatty and Henderson were there to try to put a body into him, and they got contact. They'll call the foul against Beatty. That is going to be his first personal, 3rd team foul. They do call that a shooting foul. That'll put Chavarria on the line. He's yet to shoot a free throw. They've only missed 1 free throw in this ball game. They are 9 of 10 for 90%. Coach Summer now is mad because they're changing it to a floor foul instead of shooting foul, and he wants free throws out of it.
Of course he does. He wants to get more points, get it closer, whittle it away. With 3 minutes, he's got very little time to do so.
Orgain inbounds to the left wing. Sullivan will hold it for a second. Drives to the free throw line. Backing his defender in, Turbiatis. Orgain in the right corner. Fakes a 3. Gets Payne in the air. Decides not to shoot it, though. Cross court left to Chavarria. Spins on the left elbow. Fadeaway jumper off the back of the rim. Saved by Pena on the rebound over to Clay. 3rd rebound for Pena. Clay will dribble to the front court. Right wing. Stop and go, dribbles through his legs, crossover down the lane, runner shot, but he runs over his defender as he went airborne, right over the top of Gossett that time. Kind of just shot, put it at the basket. He knew his body was already falling into his defender. So that'll be a turnover for the Eagles. Only their 7th of the game, Ron. That's about 10 less than their average on the season per game.
Yeah, I would still like to see more than 3 points in this quarter, but still, other than that, they've cleaned up all the other areas, and they're holding on to this lead against Carlsbad.
3 fouls on Clay, 4 overall for the Eagles. Coming across the timeline. Stop and go dribble now for the guard. Zenas Huertu just checked in for the Cavemen, down by 13. 2:20 remaining. Top of the arc, gives over to Gossett left wing. Backs in against Henderson, spins left on the elbow. Kick out left corner. There's a 3 on the way. Hard off the back of the rim for Mullins. Ball gets tipped out by the Cavemen on the left baseline, and it will be Hobbs basketball. Substitution going to check in for the Cavemen, and that is Brandon Sullivan. Of course, the other Sullivan been starting in this game, Shane Sullivan. He's got 8 points and 4 rebounds. So Brandon Sullivan in now. He's a junior. Shane Sullivan, a sophomore. So the younger brother there getting more time on the court so far. 13-point Eagle lead with 2 minutes remaining. Pena will come across the timeline. Soria's checked in for Hobbs. Pena's going to have a little bit of a globetrotter dribbling exhibition on the far right. Cross court left to Beatty. Beatty fakes a pass, dribbles with his left hand to the wing. Give it out to Turbiatis. Hand off to Pena back on the left side again in front of the Taskovich band. Hard dribble down the middle of the paint. Swings it down to Henderson on the right block. Picks up a double team. Back deep to Soria, who puts on the reverse to the timeline. Over to Beatty on the left wing. 1:37 remaining. Spins against 2 defenders, and Coach Ross calls a timeout on the baseline. The Eagles is kind of running clock on the perimeter, but I think they want to get some more insurance points on the scoreboard. We'll take a break as well. 1:35 left, 4th quarter. Hobbs 56, Carlsbad 43. Final regular season game live on the Hobbs Eagle Network. Your Hobbs Eagles lead by 13 late here in the fourth quarter, 56-43 over Carlsbad in the final regular season district game. Eagles trying to get their third win of district. Sorry with the basketball. Slings it over to the right side to Kano, who just checked in. Dribbles near the timeline with a spin move. One-hand bounce pass to Vega, right wing. Kicks it back to Kano, right corner. Posting up. Wheeler on the right block. Back deep to Vega. Cross court left to Soria. Down to Kano in the left corner. Drives baseline. Goes up against a double team and gets the ball stripped out of his hands on the baseline. Good job of stepping up there that time for Brandon Sullivan to knock it out. Eagle basketball, though, on the left base. Soria will inbound. Clock stopped with 1:11 remaining here in the fourth. And Coach Summer going to get more subs on the court. A couple guys that played in the JV game tonight, it looks like, checking on now. That's Dryden Priest. And also coming on the court, they have number 21 on there, but I don't see him on our score sheet, so I'm not sure who that is. Inbound comes the left wing to Kano. Back deep to Hernandez for the Eagles. Over to Vega right side. Cross court left to Soria with 1 minute remaining. Crossover move. One hands it back to Vega, far right side, and again to Soria with the yo-yo passing game. He's at the time stripe. Hard dribble with his left hand to the left wing. Back deep to Vega. Clock to 50 seconds. Gives it to Kano on the left wing. Crossover to his left hand. Drives the left block. Tries to throw up a shot. It's rejected by Orgain. Orgain tries to dribble up the near sideline. Gets rejected back by Kano, and the ball goes out of bounds off of Huerta, actually. That wasn't Orgain, but Huerta instead. That is a turnover, though. Kano playing some tough D. And that will be the 11th turnover for the Cavemen. Only 7 for the Eagles. Inbound to Kano left corner. Thought about a three. Tries to drive baseline. Ripped out of his hands by Sullivan, out of bounds. Hobbs will get it back once again. They're trying to get Kano open for a shot. He is the senior on the court right now for Hobbs.
Exactly. Give him one last moment on senior day. Might as well, make it the most. He's already said he's had a great season.
Inbound to Wheeler in the left corner. Of course, the Eagles have one more home game with the first round of district, the tournament next week on Tuesday, after evening up the score with Carlsbad in this one. They call the reach foul against the Cavemen, as they'll get that charge to Brandon Sullivan, his first. That'll be the 16th foul, already in the double bonus at 5. And that puts Wheeler on the line, a chance to get himself in the scorebook. Yet to shoot a free throw in this game. Worst one is up, and a swish. First point of the game for Wheeler. Came in shooting 75% on the season. Of course, he's only been a Hobbs Eagle varsity player just a couple of games. Remember that game back at Roswell? He had 9 points.
Exactly, and I thought he did really well considering all in all he had to come in as a substitute.
And had 5 rebounds against the Coyotes as well. Misses his second free throw, pulled down underneath by Galindo. Clocked at 31 seconds. Gets it off to Huerta, drives into the front court on the right wing as Kano is chasing him all over, trying to get a steal. Crossover move for Huerta, drives baseline, goes up a double clutch on the right block, is hammered by Hernandez, who stepped over to help and gets the foul. Hernandez with his first personal, 15th foul. Both teams now in the double bonus, but that's a shooting foul regardless. And that will put on the line for Carlsbad Zenas Huerta for the first time. He's yet to score in this game. Carlsbad with some good free throw shooting, though. 9 of 11 for 81%. Now make it 10 of 12 after the make there from Huerta, his first point of the game.
Luckily for Hobbs, it was not a factor because it could have been otherwise if Carlsbad was at the line more. Luckily, they just had those diminished and did not get as many chances as they did last time.
Substitution, Bryce Mullins in the game. Second shot up and good for Carlsbad. That's Huerta's 2 points. 57-45, down to 20 seconds. Soria in the front court with a 12-point lead with 17. Over to Kano left wing. Fires up a three off the front of the rim, barely missing. Rebound at the free throw line for Carlsbad by Mullins. Sends it down to the left block. Actually, that was Mullins that went to the left block with it. Hippity-hop move and gets fouled as he tries to go up with it on the left side of the rim. They're going to count the basket. Did extend the shot through, and they'll get the foul as well against the Eagles as they'll charge that one to Lyric Soria, his first. And a chance for that three-point play. Not going to matter much here as Mullins gets his first bucket of the contest.
No, it will drop it down to a single digit. But, yeah, otherwise it doesn't mean much.
Free throw good. 3 points for Mullins. 7.2 seconds remaining. Eagles by 9. They send it down the left sideline. Kano with the crossover. Shoots an 18-footer over the rim. No good. And a rebound at the baseline at the buzzer for Hernandez. Kano couldn't score, but he's excited about this squad getting a 9-point lead or 9-point win as the Eagles get their third win in district. We'll talk about all the district tournament playoff implications as we get to the post-game show. Again, the final 57-48, the Eagles over Carlsbad. Come back with us in 3 minutes. Welcome back to the Hobbs Eagle postgame show live on Cool 95.7 on the radio, HobbsAmerica.com, YouTube on the Hobbs Sports page and the Cool 95.7 Facebook page. Your Hobbs Eagles victorious over Carlsbad 57-48. That will lock up the Hobbs Eagles' third-place seed in the district tournament next week. They should have a game on Tuesday. Should be right back here at Tasker Arena. Now, the reason why they are in that situation is their record one win more than Carlsbad, so that basically gives them the advantage there. They won't have to go to a tiebreaker in terms of – well, actually, wait. Do they – let's see. They're three – they have one game – they have a one-game difference with Carlsbad, so that will keep them – they won't even have to do a tiebreaker.
Exactly.
So that win was important. With that game tonight. So anyway, the Eagles will have that game on Tuesday, and there's a close one going on, but it looks like getting too close for comfort for Clovis, as Roswell looks like they come up with a victory tonight, huh?
Actually, they did. It's a final now. They had 10 seconds to go. There was really no way Clovis could come back, but they were down by 8. The final now is 69-60. Roswell rolls over Clovis, kind of disrupting the rhythm at all, especially since Clovis was ranked number 7th at the time. And so even though Clovis most likely will be in the playoffs, that's pretty much an assured thing. Now it's just a matter of, what the seeding is going to be for both of them.
What was the point difference there?
It was 9. It turned out to be 9.
Well, what happened now is Roswell wins that one, as you said. Both teams, Clovis and Roswell, are 4-2. Clovis beat Roswell by 6 the first time, and now Roswell beat them by 9, so the tiebreaker should be in favor of Roswell by 3 points.
Exactly, which is weird because, we know that Derek's district started with Roswell and Hobbs. Roswell is able to beat Hobbs and, get that first victory. So, yeah, they definitely look like they're the contenders. But either way, Hobbs had beat both Clovis and they beat Roswell in one game at least during district. So they have that advantage whether either one of them went. So that helps them out as far as their cause for the playoffs.
So Clovis and Roswell at 4-2. Hobbs improves to 3-3. And actually, that was a 2-game difference with Carlsbad. They were 1-5. So if they would have won tonight, that would have
tied them up.
Yeah, that would have been a tie record, which Carlsbad beat them both times if that was the case. So that would not be no need for a tiebreaker on that one. But so anyway, Hobbs will get that number 3 seed again, 7 o'clock. I think that'll be the time on next Tuesday night. That is just the first game of district, though, the tournament. Hobbs will have to go on the road, more than likely to Clovis on Thursday. Championship would be on Saturday. Okay,
right.
So that's – and I think, that's a good way to start getting this win tonight, not having to go on the road that Tuesday game. I still think they'd be happy to get themselves into that championship game. It's going to be tough, to go through Clovis. But I think possibly, looking at what the top 16 are right now, there's still a shot for Hobbs, even if they don't win all the games they want to at the district tournament, that they might, eke out maybe a 16, 15 seed. Doing well in the district tournament, I think is going to up it up to about a 14 or something like that, based on that strength of schedule. Again, we mentioned this in the pregame show. They have a better strength of schedule, better than 12 teams out of the top 16 right now.
I think if they have their mind focused, they can be able to go into Clovis. Of course, they got to get Carlsbad first, but I think they can go into Clovis, be able to play well because they only lost by 3, and barely even that. It was just a simple matter of a couple of bad shots at the end. I think they could have won it if they would have played it right. But, again, we talked about that. I think in the end, though, they can go up to Clovis after they beat Carlsbad here. That'd be the key first, of course, beating Carlsbad. Then going up to Clovis, being able to play them as well as they did here, maybe even better. The fourth quarter, not so good for Hobbs, but they still managed to hold on to that victory. And then they got to face another Roswell team that pretty much is playing very tenacious D, just like Hobbs used to do back in the day. They were pressing all over the place in both games. Hobbs unable to win the first one, but they did win the second one, and I think that helped a lot.
Let's look back at this game real quickly. First for Carlsbad. They had a couple in double digits. Kyron Orgain finished with 11 points and 7 rebounds. He was 4 of 5 from the charity stripe and hit 1 tray for the Cavemen. Also with 11, Samuel Gee did foul out in the fourth quarter. Again, 11 points for him, couple of trays, 1 for 2 free throws, and 2 rebounds for the Cavemen. So only 2 in double digits. Shane Sullivan finished up with 8 points. He had 2 trays and 2 for 2 free throw shooting. Jacob Chavarria went with 7, and he had a tray and 1 rebound. It was 4 for Garen Gossett, the post player, 5 rebounds for him. He was the second leading rebounder for Carlsbad. Bryce Mellons coming off the bench late. He had 3 points, 1 for 1 free throw shooting and a rebound. Jacob Galindo went 2 for 2 from the line, as well as Zenas Huerta. They both ended up with 2 points apiece. Galindo had a rebound as well. Did I say Chavarria? He finished with 7. He was their top scorer against the Eagles last time they played. So, excuse me. So overall, 8 scores for Carlsbad in this one. They were pretty decent on the free throw line, a lot better than what they showed at home. They were under 50%, I believe, at home that last game. Tonight, they were 12 of 14 from the charity stripe, so definitely a lot better when it came down to the push and shove of this ball game, only missing 2 free throws in the ball game. They did hit 6 3-pointers, pretty good numbers there for the Cavemen, and they had 21 rebounds, which was 3 less than the Hobbs Eagles, who had 24, and also 4 more turnovers than Hobbs. 11-7 was the difference there, and we talked about that several times in this game, Ron, and that was one of your keys for the second half is whoever has the less turnovers is going to win this ball game. Now, there wasn't a lot for either team. I mean, double digits for Carlsbad, but Hobbs cleaned up their game in this one and thus got the win and a chance to host on Tuesday.
Exactly, and you definitely don't want to get look. You already have an opponent that's going to make you make mistakes. You don't want to force yourself to make mistakes on your own. It just doesn't add up to a victory. Hobbs did well today. They played both sides very good, and they had to overcome that deficiency with Malachi David being out. So I think they stepped up. Everybody stepped up in the right place at the right time. Again, fourth quarter was a bit of a concern, but since they didn't lose the game, it shouldn't be nearly as much, but I'm sure it's going to be addressed in the locker room as the practices start up again.
Yeah, it was 11-4 in favor of Carlsbad in that fourth quarter. Although Hobbs had 20 points going into the third quarter,
right.
So definitely some good point production there, and only 11 for Carlsbad in the third. Look at the Hobbs Eagles scoring in this game, leading the Chargers. Whoa, they just turned off all the lights here at Task Arena. Not a smart move there, as we have no power up here in the press box. Let me get my flashlight on here real quickly. Thank you. The Eagles started 17 for Abraham Pena. He went 3 of 5 from the charity stripe in this contest. I did have a 3-pointer. That's kind of surprising for him, but he is the leading scorer in the game. Finished up with 3 rebounds as well. Also in double digits, Jairus Turbiatis, very tenacious around the court, chasing everything. 14 points. He had 8 rebounds in the game, also a tray. So he definitely scored some very important point production for the Hobbs Eagles. Getting close to double digits, Braddock Beatty coming off the bench in this one. Had some JV time tonight as well. 9 points for him. He was 1 of 2 from the charity stripe and had 3 rebounds for the Hobbs Eagle cause. It was Braylon Vega, kind of a quiet offensive night for him with 7 points. Did get 2 trays, though. 1 of 2 from the line and 1 rebound. Josiah Clayton coming off the bench as well with 6 points. He was 1 of 3 from the line and had a tray in the contest and 2 rebounds. Parker Henderson with 3 points, 1 of 2 on the line and 5 boards. Aaron Wheeler was 1 of 2 on the line for 1 point. So the Hobbs Eagles finishing with 7 scores in this game. We mentioned they out-rebounded Carlsbad 24-21. That was thanks to the 8 boards from Turbiatis, 5 for Henderson, and 3 apiece for Pena and Beatty. Eagles went 9 of 17 from the charity stripe for 52%. We mentioned earlier they had 4 less turnovers, 7 compared to 11 for the Carlsbad Cavemen. And again, big third quarter for the Eagles. They had 20 points in that one, just 4 in the fourth quarter, but pretty close game, especially early as Carlsbad led 16-15 in the first. Hobbs took it up to a 7-point lead, though, in the second, and then coasted on to their victory in that second half.
Exactly, and this is what we want to see. We want to see camaraderie. It took a little longer than they wanted to possibly. They had some moments. They did play some really good teams very well, and it seemed like they got a little sloppy with the lesser teams. So looking forward, it looks like Hobbs can play a game, go from beginning to end. Fourth quarter, again, a little suspect, but once you don't lose the game, once you don't lose that lead, then you are playing well. It doesn't matter what you do in the fourth quarter, even if it is 4 points. You are happy with that and that result.
We mentioned earlier, too, Clovis losing the game tonight to Roswell, which, looking at the tiebreaker situation, both teams won a game apiece against each other, so that would go to the point differential. And it looks like, just based on that, with that win tonight, Roswell getting what they needed to get over the hump there and get the final margin they need to host that championship game, which will be Saturday. And, of course, if you're the number 1 seed in the district tournament, you don't have to play but 1 game.
Right.
Clovis, definitely as a contender, ranked in the top 10 for much of the season, so they're definitely no slouch, and that'll be a very tough game if the Eagles manage to get to that semifinals, I should say, there at the district tournament next week. But it looks like the Eagles, with the situation is now, Ron, they will have 2 road games next week, hopefully.
Yeah, Clovis goes to 18-8 in the record, and even though they're number 7th, they may fall down a little bit in the rankings. And Roswell sitting at 20 could actually probably will if they get the district, which it sounds like they did. So they're going to be part of that playoff picture regardless of what's going to happen, because you know what it is. You know, they are district champions, and that means that Hobbs also beat them as well, and that'll help their playoff chances.
I don't know for sure, and I just forgot about this, but I have to double check on this. They might not go to the point spread on 2 teams tying for number 1 seed. They might have that Monday game. I think that might have been a change they made in the rules the last couple seasons. So there's a possibility that Roswell and Clovis might have a pre-playoff game for the district to see who the number 1 seed is. So I thought I had seen that it was the point spread differential. Both teams have won, against each other once. But regardless, Hobbs is going to be home on Tuesday. They will face Carlsbad right back here.
Well, and we'll also find out if they're going to play in Carlsbad, if they actually could play here. I mean, logistically, I think there is no in-between, because usually that's what happens is they try to get the team or the place in between, and they want it in district.
Well, you're talking about the Clovis-Roswell game.
Right. I'm talking about the Clovis-Roswell game. So that would be Monday night, so it could either be here or it could be in Carlsbad, but it's got to be in a neutral site. It can't be on Clovis Field, or it cannot be in Roswell.
Yeah, and that definitely be neutral. Now, a couple of years ago, they allowed you to go to non-divisional schools like Artesia, but I think they made a new rule that says you have to play inside the district. That's a new rule, but again, that's not going to matter to us. We're waiting for a game Tuesday.
Right.
Hobbs Lady Eagles getting their victory tonight in Carlsbad. They go to 6-0 in district. That means they will have to wait till Friday to see who they play. It really doesn't look like much competition as the way it's gone this year. So, it looks like Coach Carpenter's going to be heading back to state. And then the following week, that means they will be definitely at home for a regional matchup. I don't think they call regionals anymore, but they will have a game definitely that following Friday too. So they'll probably 2 Fridays in a row that Hobbs will be hosting games. And, of course, the Hobbs Eagles like to get themselves in a regional matchup, and they have to be in the top 16 to do it. But should be an exciting one on Tuesday, and I think they're really excited to be right back here where they belong at Tasker Arena.
Exactly, and plus the fact that they've been good on district at home. They've been not so bad at on the road. It's just they have not been able to pull the trigger, be able to get that finishing touch to win the games. They're 3-3, so I think they're going to definitely get a little more momentum, because they know they can't play all the games here at the Tasker Arena. They got to take a couple on the road, and they're just going to be a little bit tougher as they go along.
And I think one last thing, too, the resume just isn't quite good enough yet. I mean, I think another win, and you're pretty much putting the icing on the cake there. But right now, the strength of schedule is one element, but how many games below 500 are you is going to be something that the committee's looking at also. And I think you pick off Carlsbad Tuesday, that might just get you what you need. But semifinals and championship of the district tournament will really be a big boost.
Well, with the 3 more games, what happened is if they could win all 3 games for the district tournament, that would put them 1 under 500. Again, not something you want to shoot for, but on the other hand, it does look a lot better than 4 or 5 under 500.
Final score once again tonight, your Eagles defeating Carlsbad 57-48. They have 3 wins in district, their 11th win of the season. Again, Tuesday night, unless something changes, Hobbs will be right back here at Tasker. I believe it'll be a 7 o'clock start, 6:45 pregame show. Again, we'll have that for you live here on the radio and on the internet. I'd like to thank Jessica Friend on the scoreboard tonight. For Ron Gunner, myself, Ty Friend, and Evie Stuber back at the station. Have a great rest of a weekend out there. And the Hobbs Eagles back on Tuesday night. See you later.
Go Eagles.